Okay, I got the red smoke.
Gun runs north to south, west of the smoke, west of the smoke.
Okay, copy. West of the smoke. I'm looking at danger close now.
Come on with it, baby. Give it to me. I need it. You're cleared hot.
Copy, cleared hot.
About that tall? Or
Sometimes you need double A's. I don't. You know what's wild?
what the fuck do you have these?
I don't remember
You
why
know?
that's in my pocket. For 100% honesty's sake, I don't know why those are banded in a rubber band
Wow.
in my front left
And
pocket.
one's inverted, like one's tits down. That's really weird.
You can't have everything tits up, right?
That's super funny.
Yeah.
So how's the, you know my favorite podcast that you've ever done?
No.
I know I rarely listen to you because I don't like hearing your voice.
Have you considered going and fucking yourself?
Yeah, a little bit. This morning I did on the way here. The helicopter pilot, the CW5 from 160th. Bro, that was a
Ally Mac?
because you were more interested in that conversation than anyone because that conversation was about helicopters and
Yeah,
special
now I
operations.
know how many times they almost killed us.
I know. That was rad, dude. That was I think that
What's
was the
not
best
rad
podcast we've
is looking back and thinking before knowing what some of the noises meant and the shuddering and the blade chop.
because he got shot down in Anaconda, right? And
Yeah, but
Robert
then just
Ridge.
got into another one. He thought they were going to die. He lost all hydraulic control of the aircraft.
that's insane.
So the stick, everything locked up. And I believe they were in a descending slight right-hand turn.
Yeah, because he came off the slope. He came
Yeah.
off the.
Well,
the
he was
ridge
able to
line.
pull, he was able to level it out a little bit, but had the crew chief not pumped in a quart of hydraulic fluid,
Yeah, in real time while it was happening.
they would have been on that descent right-hand turn until
frapped
they no longer continued to exist.
And was it Neil Roberts was on his helicopter?
Right before that dive off of the mountaintop is
Wild.
when Neil went out the back.
What did he say about? Did Neil think they were on the ground because they were roping? They weren't roping. They were coming off the back of the ramp, and he came off of it thinking they were infilling.
I didn't ask him, but if you think about it, he would probably be the last person to know what Neil thought.
Yeah,
The crew chief in the back may have a better idea
of
because
seeing.
he was, from my end, again, now understanding more, they are head out, head in. They're looking at monitoring. They have two pilots, right? So one can be monitoring the gauge. So he's
Yeah.
flying that aircraft on
And
short
listening
final.
to the crew chief.
So yeah, he would have not probably know. I know that Neil had to have been unclipped. Not that I was ever clipped in a 47,
Yeah.
but he had to have been near the ramp.
Yep.
I believe he was probably preparing to run off, is my understanding. They were going to land and then
Yep.
depart.
And it's at night.
At night. I believe he might have been in the process of getting off or close enough to the back, or when it pitched, he went out the back. I'm not sure how far he fell, if he fell at all, or if he had just taken a step off and the helicopter took off. But again, I mean, he was
Did you interview the TL that received the Medal of Honor for that?
Slabinski. No,
Slavinsky.
I have not sat down with him for a conversation.
That I don't think I've ever heard him in a conversation.
Michael, will you look up and see if there is? His name is Britt Slabinski, Inski.
Because that's super controversial, but you told me personally, I remember we had a conversation a long time ago, that based on what you know of that circumstance, there was nothing, he didn't know. And it's easy for people to armchair quarterback the ISR and go, well, you could see he's right there, Neil's right there, but it was at night in the snow. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I don't know if he's done a full sit-down podcast about it. Yeah, that's Britt. So he augmented us for OIF 1.
What do you mean augment?
He came with Gold Squadron, even though he was at Blue first and then ended his career at Red at the command.
Oh, got it.
After that, I don't know, and I don't want to hypothesize as to why he had augmented us, but he was with us there for OIF 1, the initial invasion of Iraq,
As a TL. He was the team
No.
leader of the element, or no, just an assaulter?
just as an augment. And so I had the opportunity to hear him in his own voice in a real close proximity time to that happening, because that happened while I was in Green Team.
Yeah. AAR style?
He told this story to the group. It wasn't necessarily an AAR. Here's what I know. His version of events that he lived, I have not heard his version of events deviate from when he has told that story. I know there's a huge controversy and people think that the Navy pitted itself against the Air Force. I also hate when people use broad terms like that.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Like
There's
big Navy?
tons of nuance in between.
Yeah. Do you mean a guy in the Naval Special Warfare and a guy in AVSOF? Maybe. I don't know. There is a bunch of controversy that is around that has continued on to the Medal of Honor Museum. We're talking about Chapman, who was originally, I think he was given the Air Force Cross, but it has been upgraded to the Medal of Honor as well.
Yeah.
There's a discrepancy in the current displays, and I actually was just there in Arlington at the museum, so I got to see where one person's name is and the other one in the display. Again, I wasn't a part of that. People talk about the tie or the connection between Brit and the foundation and all those things. I leave that to everybody. All I can say is back in 2003, the one time I heard it from his own mouth, it has matched every version that I have heard, and he believes what he is saying.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. I don't have the facts. That's all I can say.
Was Neil, I thought there was controversy between, in the task org of what Neil Roberts was doing. Was he working with the OGA or the ground branch at the time, or was he attached to Blue as a controller? Because he was
talking about Chapman.
I'm sorry, Chapman.
He was attached to Blue Squadron, is my understanding.
Got it.
Yep.
Which is wild, because when you see that and you realize that, like, what he was doing, fighting uphill, like, he's an Air Force guy. Mm-hmm. And I just, that doesn't.
Yeah, but he's a 24th STS.
Yeah, he's an STS guy.
So,
and he's working exclusively with Blue.
Correct.
Yeah.
So he knew what he was doing. And they had very limited people to be able to go back up there.
There's a couple guys, right?
I think there was 4. Today's episode is brought to you by Black Rifle Coffee. Summer rewards people who move. The ones who get up early, they stay out late, they push farther, and they work harder. And Black Rifle Coffee Company built the fuel to keep up. While some brands are suddenly wrapping themselves in patriotism because of America's 250th birthday, BRCC has proudly celebrated America, her military, and the people who serve this country since day one. Every bag, every box, every can purchased helps support the communities that make America stronger. And this summer, stock your cooler with their new ready-to-drink cold brew coffee cans in just black and vanilla. And when you need more energy, grab their new Bomb Pop-inspired energy drink, Tiger Stripe. With 0 sugar and 200 milligrams of caffeine, Tiger Stripe was built for range days, road trips, long shifts, and everything else summer throws at you. Find Black Rifle Coffee Cold Brew and Tiger Stripe now at Walmart or your local grocery store, Black Rifle Coffee Shop, or, of course, online at blackriflecoffee.com. Veteran-founded, American-roasted, this is America's coffee. Back to the show.
And I know they were Chechen, or they were like trained dudes with PKMs.
I don't know. Scariest environment imaginable.
Wild, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, that podcast is what number is that?
I have absolutely no idea. But
you knew
Michael
knows. That podcast is awesome. I'm interested in the Roto Wing stuff too. And
I know. I just saw you post a picture of a little bird questioning your career path. I don't think you would have been a good pilot.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably
I think
not.
you would have crashed and died.
I probably would have died.
Yeah.
During whatever their green team is, their selection.
Oh, you wouldn't have made it that far. 447.
At the basic course.
Yeah.
I would have been done.
I feel like you would have failed out in the aptitude section or vision.
Really?
Yes.
Because we just talked about this with your reporter buddy.
Yeah.
About how the article of your, can we say that word? We can't even say that word.
I don't know. I don't know.
We can't even say it. I'm not even going to use that because I don't want to get you suppressed and ruin your numbers that are already down a little bit.
Are they? Probably.
Since your book release.
I mean, look at who we're talking about. How could the numbers be going anywhere but down?
How does it feel though? This is crazy because I already know how you feel about this. It's not a big deal. New York Times bestseller. You're like, I just did a thing, and you're that. But hitting that list, because it's very controversial and political.
Mm-hmm. It's not a sales list, and a lot of people don't know that.
It is very but what they do guarantee is, like, when you hit that list, they guarantee mass dissemination, which was my interest in hitting the list because I'm like, prepper crap doesn't get widely disseminated because everybody's scared of it, which is why I didn't hit the list. I hit the Wall Street Journal list, which makes me a national bestseller. Mm-hmm. But I see your shit everywhere. I go on every airport I've been in, it's in every section of the airport. Every Barnes & Noble, it's front and center, and it's mass disseminated because it made that list. So congratulations.
You could have had your name on that book too.
You probably wouldn't have wanted my name on that book at the time.
Listen, life choices have consequences. It worked out in my favor, but don't think I'm going to let you slide away from promising to do something and coming the day we were supposed to share our work together.
It out.
Yeah, you had nothing. Nothing.
Here's why. Because I really prefer a ghostwriter that writes it for you. And you actually
enjoyed it.
You actually write.
Yeah, I enjoyed the process.
You had 3/4 of the book. No, actually, you had it mostly done when we went to our first.
Yeah, remember that was the
session.
agreement we had?
I didn't have one page done.
I am aware of that.
I can't write, man. You know what I do well? I talk
You
into
just
a microphone.
handed out one of your books at the event you just did.
So I read that book out loud because it's all my experiences.
Yeah.
And had Niels, the guy.
Neil Niels?
No.
I was going to say, we got to work on that.
Niels, is it Niels Parker? It's my editor, who did Matt Best's New York Times best-selling book. Congrats, Matt. But he did his, and what I did is I read it, like literally sitting in the bathtub, in the vehicle, on commutes, talked about the courses that I was teaching at the time. And the same thing with you, all the subject matter, most of the highlights in the book that I listened to, I didn't read your book, but I listened to it.
Thanks, you're a good friend.
Yeah. I bought the audio and the printed copy today, gave one away, and you didn't even send me a copy. I had to buy it on Amazon.
I can't send a book to jail.
That's true. They don't.
They're going to cut, they think it files in it. Have you never watched TV shows?
That was so good. That was good. You're getting sharp. That wind straw is cognitive
Powerful
benefits.
peptide.
What is I was going to ask you what your health and wellness routine is, because I've never seen you more lean, more healthy.
It's called crushing anxiety and stress. It really
Cortisol?
helps suppress your diet.
Is it cortisol? What have you changed? You changed something.
I mean, I'm only partially joking about the crippling anxiety and stress. Everybody thinks business is fun from the outside. Dude, look, not that you have ever experienced anything like this, but the reality, I don't know anything about business.
Yeah.
I'm learning. I'm not trying to repeat mistakes. And I tell myself the mistakes are tuition payments, and I do mean that, but that doesn't mean they don't sting or hurt or make you question your ability as to whether or not you can continue down your path in the future. Is this worth it, this, that, or the other? I've had some business partner issues. We can leave it at that, speaking very broadly. There's really large dollar figures associated with the coffee shop that I'm responsible for, and a large head count there to make sure it makes enough money to do those things. Those things weigh on me very, very much. There was some back end stuff, personal stuff, financial stuff that has all been tied up and coming like tax related, because I'm not being able to to undo the litany of accounting that we needed to, that just detonated with the turnover in business partners. It took almost 1.5 years of forensic accounting.
This is the old business partner.
Yeah, but it took almost 1.5 years of that stuff to unwind it. So there's things that are like bills that are due, the VIG is running every month to the government, you know what I mean? And all those things are fine, but it's stressful, man. I am added weight training back in with jiu-jitsu, kettlebell or odd objects only. No linear barbell stuff. So mostly just kettlebells, but doing that 2 to 3 days a week, jiu-jitsu as much as I can, a clean diet. Really, it's about the biggest difference.
Peptides.
Occasionally I played around a little bit with Mott C. If I ever get injured, the old TB 500, no, BP 157, TB 5, whatever the Wolverine cocktail thing is.
Yeah. I've done that a little bit. The Mott C I've done.
Yeah. I've been on TRT for 2 years at this point, and finally that was a wild journey of too much, not enough, too much, and just slowly titrating to a point where my body, I'm at a good place with that.
Do you know what your numbers that you like? Is there a span?
Between 700 to 800.
Same with me.
Is
I'm not on it now, but I have to get back on it soon.
Why did you get off?
Because
prison? I get it.
Prison is hard, but you do prison PT, so I couldn't get a lot of runs in.
They don't let you have your testosterone shot in the joint?
No.
Have you considered not getting arrested in the future?
I've actually been successful at that for a few weeks now.
Let's give it some time. You've said that before.
Let's give it some time. One of the things that I noticed is some of the TRT centers, like if you go to a local TRT place, we've had this conversation too. They don't manage your levels. And so if you don't have a place that's actually on top of that, and they're telling you to do your blood work, and they're like, dude, you're too high, and they're regulating it, you're just taking what they tell you to do. Whatever it is, 2 mils, I forget what it is. but my levels were over 1,000.
Yeah.
My natural at the time of testing once was like really low, but the second time was like 450, which it seems normal. I'm the same way at 7 to 800. I'm like balanced.
Yeah.
And
It's
then,
not a super physiological dose. I got, for a short period, the dosage was increased and I physically didn't like how it felt.
yeah,
And then I had my blood checked. I would say have a heavier hand in your own science experiment.
yes,
Get your blood checked on your
Yeah.
own. I can link you up with my sister. She's actually the one who is managing my treatment at this point. She
Yeah.
specializes in specifically women's hormone and the endocrine system, which apparently is far more complicated than men's,
yeah,
allegedly.
allegedly.
But she works with a bunch of San Diego City firefighters as well too.
Yeah.
And it's a heavier handed approach, but you have to maintain your own agency in staying on top of that stuff. I look at it as a personal science experiment.
Yeah. Are you doing what is it called? The donation, like you giving blood?
Haven't
because
need
you're-
to.
Oh, really?
The amount of vials that she orders for me, I feel like satisfies. I leave there, they just keep popping. I'm like, I have to drive home after this.
yeah.
Please leave me some.
So she's doing all the diagnostics
Yeah.
to look at all the blood panel.
Yep.
Okay, I needed to get tuned into her. And then what's Brent Tucker's? Anyways, he's setting me up for that program, and then it would be perfect. I'll link it with your sister to get the blood actually drawn and done right. Because
Yeah, you'll have better access where you live. I'm limited. The nearest facility insurance coverage is down in Missoula, so I'll zip down there. But you
Yeah.
guys will have a bunch of testing facilities,
yeah,
either in Park City or SLC.
yeah. Oh, back to the New York Times bestselling stuff. You campaigned really hard in the paint. And
Campaigned? What are we talking about? I wasn't running for office.
You did the rounds.
Yes.
And it was part of a like
You have to.
Yeah, you have to. My experience with my publisher, especially when it came to preparedness, because they really didn't prioritize it at all because they've never really done a book.
Who was your publisher?
It's Penguin Random.
Yep. Which is one of the top three.
Yeah, one of the big ones.
The big three. if
I think
you
they're
will.
owned. Are they owned by Simon and Schuster? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yours is St. Martin's.
St. Martin's Press. Yep.
Yeah. So when you did that all yourself, right? You booked all of that.
All of the main podcasts, the Chris Williamson, the Rogan, Cam, Huberman afterwards. Yes, that was all just direct text messages.
What's your favorite podcast out of all those podcasts that you did?
They're all different. I did Chris's the day before I did Joe's, even though it came out afterwards. You know, having sitting down with Joe, you might talk about aliens and dinosaurs, or you might talk about current events. You never know what you're going to get with Joe. Chris he takes a different approach. We dove into a lot of the things that were in the book. Joe opened up talking about, hey, you're an author now. I was like, yeah, kind of accidentally, because my douchebag friend tricked me into this. And then Cam was just sitting down and talking with a friend over, I've had for years talking about the book. And so that was targeted. Huberman's afterwards I had never met him. Because I had done the other ones, I'm not going to say his was my favorite, but I'll say it was probably the most unique out of all of them because it was our first time sitting down together having a conversation.
And it was different. Was it focused on the book or was it focused on?
He was able to tie in the neurological aspect of the things that I was talking about.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just cool to sit down with somebody who makes you feel like you have a golden retriever level of intelligence.
Yeah. That's that guy.
Yes. And he was super cool. Again, we had communicated back and forth a little bit before that, very loosely over social media. And then I had actually reached out to him. I said, hey, I would like to send you a copy of the book. No expectations. Don't read it if you want to. Use it to keep your door open, And he wrote back. He's like, oh, too late. And he sent back a picture of the book and he said, probably time you come on the show. So that's how we linked
Really
up.
cool.
Yeah. Very cool dude for sure. So Chris is a good friend. Joe's a good friend. Cam's a friend. It's, you know what I mean? So I'm not going to say I like one more than the other, but having never met Andrew and the facility that he had and the way that they had it structured, I thought it was really cool.
Did you do anything like hot, cold, anything like any therapeutic stuff, or was it just the podcast?
Oh, I don't participate in those things.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I talked to him about my cold and hot protocol.
I don't do cold.
The ice bath should be at 80 and
That's
the
right.
sauna is at 85.
I heard that on Rogan's podcast
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do that either.
No.
I could do the hot because I love the sauna, but the cold, my body feels physical pain that I cannot describe.
I think that's the point though.
That it's probably just the regular thing for everybody else. I've done all those podcasts. I've done Chris's, He focused on Prepared, the book. And then I did all the other guys. I haven't done Huberman's. If I was going to, like a bucket list podcast would be Huberman's, because I like his neurological approach to it. It's pretty cool.
It's interesting to hear somebody who doesn't have the experiences that we do explain why certain types of people lean towards those experiences or what you can get out of them from an actual what your body is processing, as opposed to just the lived experience. So I found that to be fascinating.
Yeah. Where's he at?
Malibu is where we recorded. I don't know if he lives there. That's where his studio is, Malibu, California.
Interesting.
The New York Times thing was cool. Quite frankly, I am appreciative of it. But unlike our good friend Jack Carr, who will openly say he wanted to be a team guy and an author.
That's right.
He was really quiet about that second one while he was in smartly. You know this better than anybody. I resisted the idea of writing a book
for years.
4 years. I told you to shut your face when you talk to me.
Every time I ask you.
You're like, shut your mouth when you talk to me.
Yep.
Go get fucked and stay fucked.
Yep.
And finally, the idea of doing it together was the only thing, which again, you screwed me on in the future, was what got me over the hurdle of the idea to do that. But since I had never put that on, we'll say, a vision board or whatever, I can appreciate what it is, but it wasn't some fruit that I was looking at and desiring for a long period of time. So it's cool, but we'll leave it at that. It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had no intentions of being an author. So to me, I understand what it means. Again, I'm very appreciative of the fact that it made every one of the best-selling lists. I appreciate that deeply. I appreciate the support of the people who bought it. I'm just saying that accolade, if you will, not that they give you a ribbon or a certificate or anything like that. It would go into a binder or a drawer somewhere if it did, which is where all my other stuff is anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think here's where the pressure is potentially applied. Is obviously when you hit that list, you become an author in demand because they know you can move the books. That from a strategy standpoint, publishing wise, but from a personal standpoint, I think about it like this: one, you're a Navy SEAL who wrote a book about not
one of
being
the first Navy SEALs to ever write a book. I don't know if you know that,
but not about being a Navy SEAL really, because it's leadership applicable, and we've actually talked about it a lot. That it doesn't have to do with Navy SEAL leadership. It changed my leadership seminar style because I went,
there is no Navy SEAL leadership.
Exactly. And all the things that we were told about the military and how it applies to civilians, most of it's a lie. And so this idea that, and I think you said it, we said it last podcast, these civilians don't have the buy-in that a Navy SEAL candidate where he's supposed to be and has to be.
How could they?
They don't, right? Yeah. Their incentive structure is completely different. And it's like, well, then what do? Well, you have a principle, and then you have a way of changing and adapting that principle to a civilian. Yep. Completely different leadership style. So meaning that book is evergreen. And it doesn't have a lot to do with being a Navy SEAL. It's not a Bissonette. It's not an O'Neill type book. If you were to do a second book, what would that book be? It
would be titled, I'm Not Doing a Second Book.
You have to do a second book. Michael, just chalk this up. This is the first beginning session of... It would probably take 12 months for this one.
Absolutely.
4 podcasts. We'll have a second book on the New York Times bestseller list.
So the day that the book...
I'll take my cut.
The day
2%.
that the book hit the lists. So it came out on a Tuesday. You find out...
Thursday.
No, I think it's Wednesday. The publishers find out, I think, the following Wednesday.
Yeah.
I got a call from the literary agent.
Are they freaking out?
Now is the time to pitch your second one. Because what they see is, like you said, I don't know if I don't even know what an author in demand is. I'm going to put that on a business card, though. I like what that sounds like.
Yeah, get a t-shirt.
They're like, Andy, author in demand. I'm not going to write anything else. But, she said, now is the time. Let's go get you a 7-figure advance. And I said, what am I going to write?
I already know what it is.
No, we're not playing this game
Just
again.
like I titled the other one. I'm going to title this one.
Mike, have you ever heard the saying, fool me once, shame on you? Fool me twice, shame on me?
You got to hear me out at least.
I don't actually at all. I don't have to listen to a word that comes out of your filthy mouth.
I'm looking at it right behind you. That's the context right there. Look at that picture.
Well, I don't need to look at it. I know what it is. It is me in the American flag wingsuit sitting over the top of the oceanside harbor. You have this world. So the only thing I could relate this to is to the world of photography that I have, which is a really nerdy passion. I collect cameras.
I've been a photographer. I was a wedding photographer in the military part-time because I loved it so much. And reconnaissance.
What was the name of your business? Photos by Mike?
It was White Star Photography.
What?
Because named after the Vietnam White Star units that went in to do POW rescues. There was an organization of them.
So
called White Star.
exactly 0 people on Earth are going to get that reference.
It has nothing to do with
a
it.
POW photographer.
It was a cool logo. It was a white star. But hear me out. So there's this world that you have that you actually keep pretty secret. You don't really talk about it a lot.
What are you talking about?
The aviation,
Yeah.
free fall, base jumping. Let's just call it aviation world because it kind of relates to aviation.
Okay.
You're a world record holder in specific jumps and routines. You actually did the world record again across every continent, and there's a whole world there that is very technical, but a lot of people don't understand that world and also what it takes physiologically to be in that mindset to be able to do things like that.
I don't think there's a book there.
There is, for sure.
Why don't you write it?
I'll give you a template. I'll line it on a template.
I have some pictures of you tumbling through the sky skydiving saved on my phone for... God, that montage I made of you and Evan was amazing.
It doesn't compare to Evan tumbling.
Evan was kicking.
He's a bowling ball.
No. Evan was kicking the air that did nothing. You were tumbling. I was
heavy drunk.
dying
It's hard
laughing.
to keep up with me in the sky.
No, so the agent called the day of and let's pitch a second book. And I said no. And the reason is this.
What did he say when you said no?
It was a woman.
Oh, what did she say when you said no?
She
This is
said,
Esther?
Yes.
Yeah.
She said, people don't say that. And I said, okay, what am I going to write? Well, and she pitched a few concepts, all of which I would say are ones that have already been done to a degree. But also I had no interest in. If I want to write something again, I will do it because I genuinely enjoyed the process, not because there is a check that might be associated with an advance that then puts me under a time crunch to do so.
Yeah.
I would rather say no, and if I ever change my mind, it's not like the New York Times best-selling title is going anywhere.
No, you got time.
Yeah. And I wrote about 40,000 words that didn't make the book about the 777 that I still have. And maybe it was because it didn't fit well with the flow of the book, but the editors recommended that I pull that chapter out, and I did, and I'm glad that I did. Maybe that is a book in and of itself, but I don't know, man. Most people look at base jumping or skydiving and aviation and they say, interesting, but don't care. And I don't blame them.
But like you did, you were using the framework of the 7-continent jump to talk about leadership. So it was kind of like it was the Trojan horse, right? You were taking them along on a journey.
I mean, how many leadership books can there be, man?
Well, I don't think this is a leadership book. I think it has a lot to do with, just like you lined out with this book, there's framework, and maybe you're talking about the mindset that it takes to do something like that.
It's not hard.
But you haven't.
You relax.
You haven't distilled it.
Smile.
You haven't distilled it.
What is there to distill? Here's the book.
There's a lot.
Chapter 1, Gravity Works.
Well, take Evan Hafer.
The end.
Who hates jumping.
Yeah.
Okay. So what does he go through? He goes through like this fight or flight kind of thing. He's pooping his pants. He doesn't like to jump. What's the difference between him and you psychologically?
One of us is a pussy and the other one isn't. I mean, at the technical level.
But if you look at all you're fascinated with aviation like I am, but just in a different way. Like you're really, you
mean like I actually participate in it and you look at pictures on the internet?
You have a Gulf Stream.
Get it out.
A Gulf Stream.
Stream?
Is it Gulf Stream?
No, GULF. Gulf Stream.
Gulf Stream.
Yeah.
You have a Gulf Stream pilot's license, which is
it's a type rating.
It's a jet rating, right? Mm-hmm. You have to be in a wingsuit. You don't just do your C-class license and then you jump over and you're in a wingsuit. Like it takes.
You can,
and you'll die. But even guys that you worked with when you base jumped, I think for a period of time, maybe when we met, even 7-8 years ago, you were known for that, being that guy. Even the first Rogan podcast, which I listened to before I met you, I was fascinated with because nobody was talking about that and like the mindset it took and what you were doing. I think it's when I heard that helicopter podcast and how super excited you were about like the subject matter.
I've been nerding out about it.
Oh, dude, It's super interesting. I don't know the framework. I'm just it's a warning order. We're just throwing it out there because
Michael doesn't know what that is. Don't look at him when you say that.
yeah, warning order. Look it up,
Michael, what's a warning
you
order?
have access.
Don't.
clue.
I don't want to hear your keys over there moving at all. What's a warning order?
Do you want me to guess?
Yeah.
I would say it's.
Oh,
I feel like it's military related in some way.
Okay, that's not an answer. You are in the wheelhouse for
I'm
sure.
close.
just giving you my thought process.
You're
here.
halfway
Yeah,
there.
Continue.
Yeah. Okay, military related. I would feel like maybe flying related as well, because you guys were just talking about flying.
Can be.
Tell us more.
It has to. It's like something like you're about to do something maybe, and then something from like above you comes down and says, "Hey, be aware of this, so don't do it."
Well, bam.
No, he was so broad that could have been like, how do you go
Just
get
took the word warning and then order.
We could apply his
That's all I
answer
have
to
to go
go
off
into the
here.
chow hall for lunch. He was so, it's some guys and they say some things
That's
in the
exactly
military.
what it is. That's exactly
yeah.
what it is.
It's a brief, call it a conceptual overview. Be prepared for.
Yeah. We'll just say, let's just think about it. Let's just think about that.
So I was.
What part
right.
do we think about?
Plant
The
the seed.
warning order or the
We're
book?
planting the seed on the book. 'Cause
What's it going to take for you to actually participate in aviation? I mean, you literally, I'll pull it up. You put up, the post was of a MH6, a Little Bird.
Yeah.
Or was it an AH? Was it an attack one?
That was an MH that I was sitting in.
Which is an MD 500 Magnum PI helicopter for people who
Have you ever flown one of those yet?
no.
Do you want to?
Of course. Don't ask me rhetorical questions.
160th will like let you fly that thing. I'm sure they would do that.
If you're in the military, yes, they will.
Well, no. Well, when I visited 160th and got a tour, they were like going to bring me up in it, just
Were
like
you in the military?
they did back in the. No, I was in the military. It was just like a couple of years ago,
Okay.
and they're like, "Hey, we'll take you up next time, and you could fly."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Well, my M86 pilot back in the day that I had the letter of recommendation for aviation school, he let us do that. For some reason, we had time, and we were doing.
He let you go fly it?
Yeah.
Did you take it off from the ground?
No. No, he's like, don't touch anything, Mike. And I was like, I am not touching anything.
Let's just say the complicated phase of flight. I'm not trying to reduce the complexity of this, but once you have some forward airspeed going, it is far easier to control than when you are at vertical airspeed
Yeah.
speeds. That
Yeah.
transition from vertical to forward is where the sausage is made.
Yes.
Hovering what's weird though is once you get it, you got it. You can refine it for the rest of your aviation career.
Yeah.
But once you understand what it feels like, okay,
Yeah.
you got it. May not be the prettiest thing, but you got it.
Is anything close fixed wing to that, or is it completely different?
Talking on the radios and the airspace is the same. The control of the actual aircraft itself is very different.
And all the mechanical processes that you go through, the collector, everything is
The collector,
it a collector?
collective.
The collective. See, there you go. See, you're so interested in this. The collective,
I am interested in knowing what the fuck I am talking about.
so you don't die.
You're a collector of terms that you don't know what they mean.
I'm a photographer. You're the pilot. I just think it would be a good book.
Collective.
I would read that
Cyclic
book.
is what you have in your other hand, the forward, back, left, and right.
That's
and then your
right, the
pedals.
cycling.
Yeah.
But all of that in your helicopter is the same in a Little Bird, or is it okay?
Yeah.
And is it because I know they say the Little Bird is like fly by cable? Like, is it? It's not cable, is it?
It has no hydraulics, so you get direct feedback. I think it
Manual.
has a trim system, but yes, and it allows you, I would say that allows you to fly very precisely because you are getting instantaneous feedback of any movement you make.
Yeah, those Little Bird pilots,
They're amazing.
they are the stuff they did. I can't even just. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Now that I understand, again, what they were doing with the platforms, what they were able to do, and then you layer into that nighttime,
Yeah.
limited field of view. I mean, come on.
I just befriended. He apparently told me he's the only Asian. He's half Korean. His last name's Kim. He just got out of the military, out of 160th, and he's an A6 pilot, and he flew A6s for I think the last decade. And it's like, how was the run, man? He's like, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Is that if you had one job in aviation to do in the military, what would that be?
Are we rolling fixed wing into this too?
No, just rotary.
I don't know, man. The Apaches seem pretty cool too.
That seems pretty dope.
I mean, Alan makes the 47s seem amazing.
I don't like. I would never think Chinook, but when he talked about
Yeah.
it, I was like, oh,
I mean, if they said you can be a Chinook pilot or a DAPS pilot. For people listening, that's a 6. So the AH-6 and the MH-6 are based off the same platform. One has the platforms on the side where people can be on. The other one is an assault platform that is loaded out with rockets and guns. There's a Black Hawk, which is people in it. And then there's the DAPS, which is the attack version like the AH-6. And that thing has just got all the heat.
Sick.
So man, that would be tough to say no to those AH or the DAPS platforms.
The AH-6 seems like it'd be real cool because they're so independent. It's like just a couple dudes in one platform. And one of my last trips to Afghanistan, the ground force commander gave the AH-6s permission to do strikes and do their own BDA. So they would fly, instead of risking an entire task force in a vehicle interdiction, they would fly out and DF, directionally find the car or vehicle with the cell phone, destroy it, and then go around and do the BDA
From the air?
and relay it on the radio. And I'm like, why haven't they always been able to do that? Because that sounds really awesome. Because typically they're doing close air support for a vehicle interdiction element if things pop off. But at the time, we were so restricted because of platforms. We didn't have a lot of helicopters. We actually had, you would have loved this, we had Mi-17s. And
my last deployment in 2010, we used that as a insertion extraction platform quite a few times.
Wild.
Yeah, that's an interesting bird for sure.
Massive platform. We had 2 or 3. No, we had 3. On one target, we did a rest over day. So we come in at night, we try to pretend like we exfil, and then we keep everybody, the assault force in the compound, we're instantly compromised. Mm-hmm. So then it turns into Spectre gunship on station daylight because we're about to get lit up.
Which they don't like.
Yeah, they don't like that. That's the only thing that saved us. And then it's like, we're all on stand to, just like basically on the perimeter wall. And they bring in the Mi-17s at night, load up the Rangers, load up the unit guys. We get on it, go to fly away. And the Troop Sergeant Major Johnny across from me is looking at me. He's like, and he looks in the back and he's trying to get my attention. And then I sit next to him and he yells, he's like, where are the other helicopters? And so I run to the crew chief, and I can't say the name of I don't want to say the name of the organization that's flying it. And he says, I don't know, because they don't have connectivity. It's like they rigged a Russian helicopter, modified it, because we didn't have 160th. We didn't have enough assets.
Were you being flown around by Blackwater?
No. I'll tell you offline.
Okay.
You know it is.
Okay.
So we land, and when we get off the helicopter, the other 2 helicopters are missing. And
That's
so
not good.
The Troop Sergeant Major Johnny thinks they got shot down, and we're like, what happened? They go to take off. Both of them have mechanical failures because of the load on exfil and have to auto-rotate to the ground, both of them. Johnny makes me and 3 other guys go out with this unit, and we go to a Russian Mi-17 scrapyard to pull parts, cross-load them into... what's the one? The Osprey. Mm-hmm. They flew in Ospreys from Kandahar, picked some of the guys up. We didn't go. It was some of their mechanics, and flew over the mountain range. This is from Kunduz to Mazar Sharif. Land in Mazar Sharif. Repair. I think they can't repair both of them. They could only repair one. They get one off the ground. The rest of the guys load, and then they drop a JDAM on the third helicopter. And I was like, yeah, that's sketchy.
A very Iranian rescue.
Yeah, it was wild, dude. And that Mi-17 was scary to fly in, especially on final.
Yeah, those are older but proven aircraft for sure.
The Blivet is on the outside, or the bladder.
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention at that time for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was wild. So you guys used those on your rotation?
Yep. I don't actually know who was flying them up front though.
What color were they? Just white?
Tan, I think.
Ours
desert-ish.
Were beauflaged, green, and tan.
Like rattle canned or professionally painted?
Legitimately rattle canned. Like saw the guys out there rattle canning it. It was awesome. It was a cool trip.
Damn. What's new in the world? What have you been up to?
Well, I got Fieldcraft back, and that was partly thanks to you and their inability to make money.
There was nothing in there that was thanks to me.
Yeah, your vote counted.
I had to vote to remove you from the company.
I know that. But I would have voted to remove. I actually signed the paperwork to remove
Yes.
myself because I knew the circumstance. I mean, it was dire. I mean, I was like,
The situation, yeah. I mean, I was obviously very quiet about all of this, but yeah, you had put me on the board of Fieldcraft, I think the year before that. And so I kind of had an inside track as to what was going on. There was no other choice to make, unfortunately, based off of the public optic of what was going on. And it actually freed you up. That sucked. You didn't get kicked out, though. I've heard you say on some podcasts you got kicked out.
no, it was, well, one, it was self-selected because I could have fought it legally.
Yeah.
But I also was told, I mean, look, what you just said is the fact. I could not fight in court
No.
and be part of the company
Yeah.
at the same time. In fact, so it was a blessing in disguise.
Let me tell you how not fun it is to officially submit a vote to remove one of your best friends from the company that they
Yeah.
created.
Yeah. And that was tough. I know it was tough.
Yeah.
But then you voted me back in. Kind of.
Not really, because I think once that happened and Fieldcraft went the way that it did and it folded, which it had to. I know I had no hand in anything other than that, other than signing stuff saying I agree with
The path for acquisition or for dissolvement.
Dissolvement, yes. The acquisition I was not consulted on. Because at that point it was outside of, you know what I mean? Like once it's dissolved, my role in that, I assume to some degree that you probably were at least looking at, I mean, there's some valuable things associated with that. An email list of multiple hundreds of thousands of names, incredible amount of that. The social channels, all that stuff. I assumed that would probably be the case, but I didn't have a hand in it coming back to you. I had a hand in it ending, I guess, unfortunately. But
yeah. And that was tough. Evan was actually on the board at the time.
He didn't make any of the calls though.
No, he had his own things to deal with.
I just don't think he could reach the phone on the table, but
That's okay.
Yeah.
He's grown up a little bit.
that was rough, man.
Yeah, it was rough. Man.
It was rough because I knew more than most people of what you were dealing with, but also not enough, nor was it my place to ever speak about it. So it's people hit, well, why aren't you saying anything about Mike and this? I'm like, first off, eat a dick. All of the dicks you can find.
Yeah.
And anybody who was fighting their way through what you were working your way through would have asked for only one thing, and that would have been time for you to present the actual facts of the case itself, which in the modern era, nobody seems to have an interest in doing, which sucks.
Yeah.
And those people who were the heaviest on that bandwagon, if anything like that ever happened to them, they'd be screaming at the top of their lungs, wait, it's not true. Let me tell you my side of the story. Well, you weren't even able to tell your side of the story.
No.
Because you were incarcerated, Mike. What was your prison name? Did you hold on to people's pockets?
When I've never told so many people so fast my background.
Did they even care? Did they hold on to your pockets?
They did care.
Good.
It didn't help that the first person who I ran into, the first corrections officer I ran into, and my dad retired from corrections after the military. So he was a military police officer, combat arms guy, transitioned into Department of Corrections and did that for like ever. He was like a detective at the state prison in Florida. And I've said that. So I think there was like you guys are like my old man. Like I grew up in this kind of environment. And the first guy walks up to me and he's like, hey man, thanks for your service, and shook my hand. Like I'm in an orange jumpsuit and he's shaking my hand, telling me thank you for everything that I've done. And he heard the story about Vinny and he has so much respect for me. And as soon as I went into lockup with these guys, MS-13, dude, big shout out to the guy with a 380 round lodged in his neck. And I had these dudes doing yoga. I had them doing breathing exercises, and we were talking about our kids because these dudes were hard up and like mean mugging each other. And I'm like, oh, there's a hierarchy here. It's like a tribe. And when I told them my background, one of the dudes in the lockup, which was like 5-7 guys, recognized me. And he goes, holy crap. And I even get chills now because when he recognized me, all the other dudes were like, really? And then all of them settled down. The anxiety they all had, they were like, so what happened with this? And it was like story time with Mike. It was like a podcast. It would have been the greatest podcast on the planet. But I had these guys, like I was, crying over my kids. They were contemplating their life decisions and going, what am I doing with my life? And I'm like, yeah, dude, what are you doing with your life? And I knew, there was a part of me knew that what was happening was temporary, but I didn't know if it was going to be permanent because it could have very easily turned permanent. In fact, I was probably a couple seconds away from their decision to go, just keep him in there until it's all said and done. Now that for me would have took a couple months. It took 55 days. I remember every hour of every day.
Was that how long you were in there for?
No. I was in there for 7 days.
It's the rookie numbers.
I know, man. You got to join me sometime.
Did you get a shiv?
Yeah, of course.
Good. Prison purse?
Yes, of course.
I think that's the move. You're supposed to either beat somebody up or get a shiv or both. That's what they say on TV.
Do both.
Okay, good.
That's the bet. Cover all.
But you don't know how to fight.
I don't know how to fight.
I know.
I could box. I don't know how to do jujitsu anymore.
Well, why did you just say anymore? Because you've never actually trained jiu-jitsu.
I have started many times.
Yeah.
And then have ended up injured. Like I'm actually off the injury. I'm leaning out a little bit. I've actually lost a little bit of weight.
I don't think so, but
5 pounds.
Since when?
How much do you weigh right now? What's your weight?
I have no idea. I don't
Really?
get on the scale. I go off on my clothes fit, which they fit fine. What's the value of getting on the scale? I get it if you have a weight loss goal, but I also don't want to nerd out over just a number that's going to give me more additional anxiety. I'm all tapped out with that.
When I got off of TRT, I dropped like 10 pounds, and I feel a lot better.
Yeah. You were probably on too high of a dosage, or maybe you didn't need to be on TRT. I legitimately got my endocrine system checked, and it was an absolute nightmare.
So your numbers were like single digits.
No, now you're making things up.
I thought you told me single digits.
No.
4?
No.
Oh, that was Brent. Brent recently told me that. Single digits.
Yeah.
What was yours at?
High 2s, I think.
Which is pre-pubescent teen.
It's hard to say. What I never had was a test when I was younger to see where my baseline was. From my understanding, some people trend lower, some people trend higher. 1100 might be normal for somebody who had a higher level in their life. I don't know what my baseline was. I know I felt like shit, and it's at least helping with that. I will tell anybody considering being on TRT, it's not magic.
No.
It's not a, and everything is better. It takes you a long time to figure out the dosage. You're not going to be a superhuman. I don't look superhuman. I can't perform superhuman. I recover better than I used to.
Yeah.
And I am appreciative of that. I can still continue to train. The mental clarity is a little bit there, but a lot of that too is diet and just prioritizing rest as well.
Yeah.
So it's not, I know a lot of people look at it like, oh, that's the easy button. I got to hit that one. It's not that. It doesn't do the work for you, as you know.
Let's talk about drinking, because I did a post recently, and a lot of dudes slid in my DMs, which is normal, but they had a lot to say.
but-
That happens every day.
Well, what was the post?
So I did a post on basically stating that, one, I drink alcohol before, and I think me and you were in the same kind of social climate where like you'd have a drink every once in a while, a glass of wine, a whiskey, and a rock. But I really found that after I began, especially where it disconnects that connection between any type of addiction, it just gets rid of that thought or idea completely. Where you have a craving for something, you don't have any cravings for anything. Like you don't want
For anything?
No, it's not for anything. It's literally for vices, like these things that you know are bad for you. Like I didn't crave sugar, I didn't crave coffee, and I didn't crave alcohol. Since then, I just crushed some amazing cold brew at your BRCC, and I partake. But I have the idea of alcohol makes me nauseous, and so it's easy for me to say I don't drink alcohol anymore. But what I've realized over the last year of not drinking at all is the profound benefit I've gotten from it. I don't feel like crap after I drink. When I drink, I'm not seeking anybody's approval. So I just drink what I want, right? Because I'm always, oh, he's drinking, so JT's drinking. I should drink with him, right? And then the overall cognitive benefits of not being clouded or fuzzy. And I don't deal with it like an addiction because I really don't drink a lot. But there was absolutely no benefit. And so I did a video saying, look, you do you, but here's my experience. And I talked about the military and how people destroyed their careers over alcohol. How when I was in the CIA, they dedicated entire shipping containers just for booze and social hour, where I would have to babysit case officers because they were getting wasted. And I'd have to be like, look, you've had enough. If I have to come get you and you're inebriated, I can't get you off the target. Stop drinking. Like I would have to have those conversations with grown men and women. And we've talked about it before, but I want to get your thoughts on it. What do you think about alcohol overall And are you still drinking? Because I feel like you haven't been. I haven't seen you drink in a long time.
I mean, I think I had 2 drinks over the 4th of July weekend. Every once in a while, I'll have a glass of wine with Leah. I think what's important for people, I think any broad statement like that is always going to get pushback because the more broad you are, the less accurate you are. I think what's important for people to understand is their why. Why do you drink? What do you get from drinking? Because let me ask you this. The way you feel about drinking now, I'm going to guess, and then the things that you mentioned have a lot to do with the phase of life that you are in right now.
For sure.
I bet, like myself, some of the, in my 20s and maybe even early 30s with some of my best friends, I had some of the most enriching, fun-filled, hilarious experiences with them involving alcohol.
Yeah.
I was never addicted to alcohol, and I chose when I wanted to participate. For me, I'm a little bit more introverted, so it's a social lubricant. It can open up that layer of, and I'm not making an excuse for alcohol, I'm talking about only myself here. It can open up that conversational element a little bit more, just maybe more comfortable being around people that you don't know, just that, literally just the social lubricant aspect of that. People have to make the decision on their own. I'm thankful for some of the experiences that I have had in my life when I was drinking. But in the season of life that I'm in right now, when I'm looking at probably the tail end of the lap around the track, the halfway point or approaching the halfway point, it doesn't serve me as well because I feel a lot of the same things. You can feel the residual impact from it, and the cost benefit ratio has changed, and that's okay. And I think people need to determine that for themselves.
Yeah.
It's the why. Are you drinking because you can't control it? Are you legitimately addicted to it? Are you drinking because you feel like you have to? Are you being pressured? Or do you have a healthy relationship with alcohol? Guys, I think that you can. Yes, there's no positive benefits, truly, I think, from a physiological, and I'm not a doctor, but from a physiological basis, I doubt there's any medical benefits from that. But everything in life is a risk, cost, benefit ratio. A lot of the stuff that we did wasn't beneficial for us in the long term, but we prioritized that experience over getting a full night's sleep. And I think that's okay, as long as you can manage it and it's not managing you.
Makes sense. I think especially the analysis of the investment in drinking and at our age, what it kind of does detrimentally to our health. Like in my 20s, there was
no hangover.
There's nothing.
Leah has 2 cocktails and she'll be on a 3-day journey of, she's like, the crab shit in my mouth again. It found me last night. I mean, age is a real thing, man. It's a different phase and a different season of life. You know, Michael, will you pull up the alcohol industry right now is getting their shit pushed in.
Yes. CBD.
Yeah, Michael, pull up I don't know what the Google term would be to find this, but the difference in alcohol consumption via sales in the last, call it 10 to 20 years.
I think it's 20+%. It used to be.
I think it's down like 65%.
Wow. So it used to be $40 billion a year in revenue, tax revenue. About 28 to 30 billion of that would be from the states combined. That's ABC stores.
Yeah.
And then the rest was from the federal government. But that's down, profoundly down.
Huberman actually asked me, and he said, I cannot believe that I'm about to ask this question on this podcast, but do you think there is benefit for younger people to have exposure and experiences with alcohol?
Oh.
And I had to look at it through the lens of my own life. I mean,
as like the social lubricant's a good point.
Can you make decisions that can destroy your life and career? Yes. Would I trade some of the experiences I had with my friends? No.
I know, man.
So again, I'm not here to advocate either direction. It's a use with caution, understand your why, and actions have consequences. So you need to be able to control that, and you can't blame it on anybody else. It's, I don't know, man. It's a tough one. This season of my life, it doesn't serve me well. But I've had a healthy relationship with alcohol.
I'm having trouble finding a chart. But
my gosh. It's dropped 54%, though, the lowest in 90 years. Spending at retail shops has fallen by an average of 5%, though bar sales have seen a slight increase as venues pivot to mocktails. All right, it's fair enough, which is just a non-alcoholic. That's weird. Down 54% the drinking rate but spending at retail has only fallen by 5%.
Through bar sales and slight increases, venues pivot to mocktails.
Yeah, which is just a non-alcoholic cocktail.
Yeah. What I find interesting is the GLP-1 thing where I thought GLP-1 was a replacement for it because people are getting healthier. No, it reduces the cravings of alcohol, which is wild. Which, I began, for example, like you talk about like the social experiences. When I ripped into Africa one trip, we went to Germany for Oktoberfest, and I was a team sergeant. Me and my cell leaders and one of my medics, I said, "Look, guys, we're only in Germany for a short period of time. Let's go out and enjoy Oktoberfest because it's an actual legit thing, right? They take this seriously here." And we partook, and it was so fun.
Did you wear lederhosen?
Absolutely.
No, you didn't.
What is that?
That's the weird leggings, I think.
What is it?
The white, froofy, frilly. Michael, pull up a picture of Oktoberfest.
The big mug?
No.
What is it? What are you talking about?
Well, first off, why did you say yes if you don't know what it is?
I thought you meant the stockings.
Yeah,
Yeah, that. Yeah. I didn't wear that, but I wore.
But you did say yes.
No, the people around. See that girl right there
with
the women's outfit? Everybody was wearing that.
Yeah,
but they were about 100 pounds heavier than
men's Edelweiss lederhosen. I know what I'm adding to cart for Michael's Christmas gift.
He would look handsome in that. I'm just saying. You should do an Oktoberfest episode, and you should wear that. That would be fun.
I don't really have a deep tie to Oktoberfest.
Lederhosen.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this because this is coming out after Biss's episode.
Yes, this will be out Monday.
So I could ask you about the post reflections of that episode.
Sure. I mean, I've had less than 24 hours to post reflect on it, but go ahead.
So we talked about O'Neill's podcast and kind of the controversy, and I didn't realize the extent of these controversies because I've been living under a rock, which I'm very thankful for the last year. But when I talked to Brent Tucker, I didn't even realize there was a whole thing between Brent Tucker and O'Neill.
Yes.
Very bad. I didn't realize. I know it was a podcast, but I didn't know it was actually Brent Tucker was part of that whole podcast. And
he is currently in a lawsuit with Rob.
Yes.
Not with Rob. He's on I don't know how you are supposed to say that correctly. There is a lawsuit that is involving Brent and Rob currently and some other podcast hosts.
But it's not just Brent, right? It's a whole bunch of people named.
Not a whole bunch, I think. Maybe 3 or 4.
Okay. So I found out about that with Brent when I was in Florida with him. So I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize that was the thing. Anyways, we talked about O'Neill last podcast and you had some reflections. Mm-hmm. And we talked about how Matt Bissonette and Rob should be in the same room. Do you think that's, after you talking to Biss, is that feasible to kind of just get this stuff out there and work through it without the legal drama and all the things that are going on? And Frank, can you frame out what Bissonette, I mean, because I really don't know.
I don't think their lawyers would allow them to do that, for one, with active litigation going on.
Oh, so there is active litigation between Biss and...
Well, Rob is in litigation with Brent over, and this is, I am not repeating verbatim what this is what I understand it to be. Mm-hmm. Brent did, I believe at least one, but I believe multiple episodes covering the narratives that surround essentially the deviation in the stories occurs at the second floor of the residence and what happened beyond the second floor into the third floor. And the key piece in it is, as dumb as this sounds, who shot and killed Osama bin Laden. From my understanding, listening to Matt yesterday, sitting where you were sitting, talking about the debrief that was audio recorded. The debrief that was audio recorded, based off what Biss said, I was not there, I have not heard the recording, is that when the debrief went down, the point man and the point man alone described actions that took place after the threshold between the second and third floor, meaning he took the substantial actions that the success of the operation was based upon. Rob has...
Which was not Rob and not Bissonette.
Bissonette has never claimed to kill bin Laden. Bissonette has claimed that he was in a place where he could have seen what happened, and that story deviates from the story that Rob tells. He doesn't say that specifically. He doesn't say, this is my story and this is Rob's. What he says is, this is what I saw. Do with it what you will.
And he wasn't the point man. So we're talking about a man who's unnamed, unknown, who's never.
It doesn't want to be named and doesn't want to be known, and I'm not going to ever pull on that thread because I can respect that. What, in my understanding, what Brent discussed in his episodes was what is supported by the debrief. If the debrief, which again, I wasn't there, didn't hear the audio recording, if the debrief is the point man talking about the actions that he took and nobody else interjected and said, no, that's not what happened, I was the one. If it was the point man talking and only the point man, what Rob is suing Brent for is Brent essentially saying that the official debrief is true. And what he is extrapolating from that is that what Brent is saying is that Rob is not the person who killed Osama bin Laden. Those are other people's words. That's what I believe the origin of the story is actually about.
Wow. Because, and Rob on this podcast for the first time said that story that they told with their heads together, that they said was the factual account of what took place, was not true.
He said that they created a story for the debrief to provide top cover for the ground force commander.
That seems weird. I mean, or difficult to comprehend. One, why you would do that. But two, how to contest that when you have the facts being the official count. Because we're saying the official count is the facts. And to get off that narrative, he has to say it's a lie, which he said. I mean, he said it here, I think, for the first time. And then Bissonette is backing the official count, or he's saying that what Rob is saying.
Bissonette, again, I can't speak for Matt, but my understanding of it was, and Michael, you were in the room, Wes, you were in the room, correct me if I'm wrong, and my assessment is this. He is saying that the official debrief, the one that was recorded, is in line with what he saw in the physical evidence.
Wow. Okay. And then Bissonette, look, Bissonette's book is a really good book.
Yeah. So No Easy Day was the first one.
No Easy Day.
Written by Mark Owen. Supposedly.
That's right.
Matt Bissonette. No one knows for sure.
No one knows for sure.
Except they found that out in about 12 hours.
So what is the conflict with this book? Because
which book? So he's done 3.
So I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So,
No Easy Day was the first one.
Yep.
What was the second? I know this one is No Easy Way. What was the second one, Michael? Can you just pull up Matt or Mark Owen or Matt Bissonette books?
Not the same publisher, I imagine.
He is self-publishing the third one.
Got it.
He did not like the feedback he got from his publisher, so he's deciding to do it on his own, which could work really well in his favor. No Hero. Okay, yeah, that's right. So No Easy Day was the first book that came out 2012, which was kind of the beginning of the unraveling of his personal and professional life. His words, not mine. Again, I'm paraphrasing. The No Hero book that came out in 2014, and then No Easy Way is the book that is coming out. I think he said they're starting to ship on 2 days from now, 1 day from now, so the 8th.
He looks great for being 50. Just saying that, like throwing that out there. I had no idea he was 50.
Well, first off, what picture are you looking at?
No, I've seen him. I just saw him post that he was on the Cleared Hot.
Yeah.
And No Easy Day, 2012. Where were you in 2012?
I was at Tradet. The training detachment on the West Coast had gotten back from that last Team 3 deployment. I was in the process of the PEB MEB submission. I was getting all the paperwork done.
Going for an enlisted officer.
No, PEB, Physical Evaluation Board, Medical Evaluation Board.
Okay.
I got commissioned in 2008.
Okay,
so I was submitting my package for medical retirement at that point.
Got it.
At a training command, I was what job was I? I was an operations officer there. Yeah, operations officer.
Yeah, I was a ops sergeant at that time at E8.
God, I would have made you salute me so many times.
I would have did it once and just got it over.
I would have had you leave the office and come back. Mike, go grab that for me. Come back.
Respect the rank. No Easy Day is the book that has all the controversy behind, right? And why is that? because it's
Well, it was the first, and again, we didn't specifically speak about why he thought it was, but from an outsider's perspective, I would say, one, the biggest thing is he did not seek publication review.
which is a huge no-no, obviously.
He agrees with that.
Yeah. What was the mistake? Did he just kind of?
He retained counsel who told them that he didn't need to do it. Sometimes it's good to get a second opinion. Hindsight 2020, right?
Yeah,
No time
yeah.
machine, so it is what it is. He got counsel associated with that. His counsel was actually the same attorney for the guy who wrote Black Hawk Down.
Oh wow.
And so he thought,
Mark Bowden.
yes,
Yeah.
and so he thought that, and probably reasonably so, that if he had worked with authors in this space before, he probably knew what he was talking about. So I would say it was a couple things. One, no pre-publication review, and two, it was the first public-facing record of that operation, really, that went into it at any level of depth that broke the news, for lack of a better term, even though it was a couple years later.
Was he on active duty at the time?
No, I was under the assumption that he was as well. He had made the decision to get out before starting writing the book.
Oh wow.
So he was out.
Okay, so and then he did it under the
Mark Owen, which
Mark Owen.
lasted, I think, less than one business day.
Wow, before it was leaked.
Well, before they figured it out. One of the things he didn't change in his origin story was the small town from Alaska that he was from.
Which is where is it out on there? Wrangell.
Yeah.
Wrangell,
And so I don't know how many team guys have come from there, but let's say it was 6. You're going to figure that one out real fast.
Yeah.
So, and then it kind of unwound from there.
So he had so is it the government sued him and then made him pay back all the royalties or the money he made on the book?
Oh, you're going to have to look this one up, Michael. I don't know the exact mechanism of that. So he did give all the money back for the book.
That he made for the
No Easy Day.
for No Easy Day. Okay. got
And
it.
the reason he said, again, his words that he used yesterday, not mine, were he is writing this book, No Easy Way, to pay off the money that he owes the government. I thought he owed the IRS. It's the DOJ, Department of Justice. So initially, I believe they came after him for felony charges, then misdemeanor, and then he entered into a settlement with them to pay them back. I'm not sure where he got the 1.5 from.
He agreed to a settlement in which he acknowledged breaching duties and forfeited $6.6 million.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So he gave that back. This other money, I don't know necessarily where it stems from. I don't know where the DOJ came up with that figure, but that is the agreement that he.
So there's another figure. So he paid back that money.
Correct.
And then he had to pay back another sum.
Is paying back.
And then
And that's why I thought for some reason this was associated with the IRS. He corrected me. It's not with the IRS. He was able to say, he's like, I always paid my taxes, always did this stuff. It's with the DOJ.
wow. So that was a criminal kind of prosecution, obviously. That was FBI. I mean, I imagine.
He said it started felony, then down to misdemeanor, and then the settlement came after that. So I don't know the specific answer.
So he wrote the second book 2 years later in 2014.
Yep.
So he this obviously didn't happen until 2016. So he wrote that second book. Is he having to pay back the second book because he didn't get the second book reviewed?
I don't know. We did not actually talk at all. I don't even think we talked about the second book, not even for a sentence.
Got that one clear.
Okay, second. Fast learner.
I thought the 1.5 was he spent some of the money.
Yeah. So it was the reason. Okay, so I don't know if you know this. Attorneys aren't free.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it came from. It was attorney, and some of the money was in fact spent. So it's the delta between the two.
What do you think? Because so I talked to Brent about this, and I've talked to other people about it recently about this whole world of veteran stuff. And what I've noticed about I think there's pockets of us, right? Maybe it's geographic. Maybe it's just how we've linked up. Like me, you, and Evan, for example, are really close. JT, Matt, we're all really close. There's no drama, right, that we've ever seen like this. And you see it coming from the Navy. I've seen it now last year coming from the Army. What do you think about all that drama? Because you've been good at staying out of drama overall. You're a former DevGru guy. When you see two guys.
I spent way more of my career out of that place though than in that place. I spent the minimum amount of time there.
Yeah, but when you see guys from the command period that are sitting in the same chair,
Yeah.
just in different times, going head to head over something that I feel like needs to just be a conversation. And I know how lawyers work because I've been dealing with them. Mm-hmm. They're incentivized by going through a litigation process because they make more money. And obviously there's legal parameters and issues, but when two men sit down and they work out these things, do you feel like that's something that needs to be done or is likely never to happen? And how do you feel about it from a Navy perspective? Because, dude, it's ugly, and I see it, and I know we talk about it because I want to understand it because I don't understand the mechanics behind it.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's something we should just be able to work out or talk about.
In an imaginary world where I could get both of them to sit down and have a conversation, I don't think either of them would deviate from what they have publicly said. So I don't think there would be a change in either person's perspective. There is two ways that I think you could get to a final end state. Neither of these are going to happen. If the official debrief is correct, and it was the point man voicing his actions and only that, that person could come forward and put it to bed. It's not going to happen. Totally respect that.
You know that it's not going to happen because they've said...
It's an assumption. It's just an assumption.
Oh, okay.
It's an assumption. I don't know the individual. I've heard the same rumors about who it was as anybody else. Don't know the person, leaving it at that. No interest again in pulling the thread on bringing that person forward. Respect their decision to remain in that place. The other option is the Navy comes forward and they handle it and they say, listen, this is the official record. This is what we have, the document to show that. And it either aligns with neither of their stories or more so with one of them. And that would be the most final way to do so. The Navy will never do that either. Today's episode is brought to you by Brunt, and I've talked about this brand quite a bit. My daughter needed new boots for her new welding job. Where'd I go? Bruntworkwear.com. And not only do they make footwear, they make clothing for the person out there working. You can head to bruntworkwear.com and go check out everything that they have to offer on your own time. Because right now, what I want to talk about is pretty much a ridiculous giveaway. Their Brunt Potty of Gold sweepstakes. Yes, I said that correctly. It's $50,000, which is a crap ton of cash, pun intended. From now until September 18th, one lucky winner is walking away with $50,000. Head to bruntworkwear.com to enter. Entering is completely free. Just create a Brunt account or log into the one that you already have and you can start earning entries. You can get even more entries by following Brunt on social, subscribing to their emails and text, or by picking up some new gear. And you can earn extra entries for every dollar you spend through September 18th, 2026. As I mentioned, Brunt is often known for their boots and workwear, but let me tell you the wildest part about this company. They actually let you wear the boots to work before you decide if you want to keep them or not. Real job site day is not just walking around in your house, and if they're not right for you, you can send them back for a full refund. That's a 100% risk-free trial. And again, don't forget, they offer a full range of high-performance gear built for tough jobs. For a limited time, listeners can get $10 off at Brunt when you use the code ClearedHot at checkout. Just head to bruntworkwear.com using the code ClearedHot, and while you're there, enter the Brunt Potty of Gold sweepstakes for your chance to win $50,000. Again, limited time. Go to bruntworkwear.com. Use the code ClearedHot so you're going to get your $10 off. And while you're there, just sign up for the Potty of Gold sweepstakes. I would sign up for that just based off the name. Back to the show. I think they would view that as too much of a calculated risk and a look behind the curtain. Because there'd be real hard follow-up questions like, why are you waiting to do this until you're forced to do so because of public outcry? Which there isn't really a public outcry.
No.
Most people, the vast majority of people, give precisely and exactly zero fucks about who killed bin Laden. They're just stoked that he's dead.
Yes.
Which it was a huge victory for the United States for that to happen. Everything that comes after that, I would say personally, diminishes that to a degree, or to the people who really invest themselves in it or pay attention, which for clarity is a microscopic group of people. But the microscopic group of people that care about it and that are talking about it probably have a vast influence over very young, impressionable minds that might be considering military service in the future. I also think that it has real world consequences beyond the potential influence. I think that when something like the strike in Venezuela, where CAG launched from naval vessels
Yeah.
which should have been the purview of Dev Group. And I have no understanding because I wasn't invited at all, nor should I have been to the planning or why that happened. But I would imagine that senior military planners, at least to a degree in their head, are thinking, okay, if these are equally capable units, which one is less of a gamble of things coming off the rails on the tail end than the other? And they have examples of things that they can point at, which I think to a degree influences that. I think it has cascading downstream consequences to senior military leaders. That is an assumption. I have zero proof of that, but I think that that would be something that is discussed at some level. I don't understand the drama. Having said that, I was never involved in an operation like that. So I don't know what that feels like. I don't know.
Well, you were involved in Jessica Lynch raid.
Yeah, but I mean, that was zero.
I mean, that was old drama.
Not really. The drama from that was the story that got spun from that while we were still overseas, that she fought to her last. I mean, she was actually used.
She was used.
She was used.
Yeah. It wasn't her fault.
No. And I mean, I've had her on the podcast and it was fascinating. She had never talked with somebody who was on the other side of that. And I feel terrible for the way that she was basically propagandized. I remember people talking about she's going to be the first female Medal of Honor recipient. She fought until the last round, and she never even had a chance to fire a round. She got her head cracked on, I believe, the seat in front of her at a Humvee.
Unconscious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, that shit happens like that. There was what we thought we were going to potentially face there as an adversary, but at the same time, we faced nobody who was there. So, I mean, yeah, there was the risk associated with that and the willingness to accept the risk for a hostage rescue mission, which was the first successful one since World War II. There have been other successful ones since then that were far more dynamic and far more kinetic. So
it was the first one in the GWAT, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it made the news at the time, but we still were over there for another 80 some days working. So all of this stuff, that was out of our hands. Honestly, I think it was politicized by the administration and people who wanted to show a victory in a place where the whole thing was WMDs and we have to do this. And then all of a sudden we can't find those things. The target we actioned before that was the #1 chem bio target in Iraq, which was an agricultural school. That was our best intelligence we had about where they were having these chem bio production and all this stuff. So we went from that to, I think we might have done Lake Tharthar in between and the Jessica Lynch, or we went from that to Jessica Lynch to Lake Tharthar, and then we surged into Baghdad. So all of that stuff was out of our hands. It wasn't people from the operation saying anything. One, the social media environment wasn't what it was anyway. But by the time we got home, the government was putting her on the back of Ford Mustangs and putting her in parades and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I feel horrible for her in the way that she was treated and politicized.
I heard Rogan talk before your podcast with him about the raid and the controversy and was bringing it up. And he got a couple things, kind of missteps on it. But then he had you on, and everybody in the comments section was like, ask him about, because he was like, I wonder if it's this, or I wonder if this happened. And I don't think Joe knows that you were on that raid, or he didn't ask at the time. But I know that when I was a young special operations guy, very, very junior, that was an example that led into the Tillman incident, where there was a world that existed where the DOD would kind of do these things, and they did it with Luttrell. I mean, they did it with Lone Survivor. It's like they pulled him out, and a lot of people blame him for what he did with the book and the Hollywood. They made him do that. They told him, this is how we're going to do it. This is going to be a good recruitment tool.
Take it easy there, Rambo.
Yeah.
You ever heard you don't have to follow an unlawful order?
Well, 100%. Yeah.
I'm not going to remove the agency of the individual's choice and actions and what he's done with it since then.
Yeah.
I don't think the military can order you to write a book.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think he's obviously compromised.
The Tillman thing was
mental
fucked.
health wise.
Pat was augmenting us on OAF1. That's how I got to know him.
Yeah.
He was awesome. Him and his brother Kevin.
Yeah. That was
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, the initial invasion of Iraq.
Yeah. That whole thing was tragic. But there's these patterns, and what why I even care about it is because I know a lot of young, impressionable men look at it and they go, why would I ever want to be part of that? And I think there is.
Well, there's a balance. For every one of those stories that are legitimately horrific, and you can use the Tillman one as an example.
Mm-hmm.
I am not an expert in the exact details and timeline, but I think it is demonstrably clear that the military knew far earlier than they let on that that was a blue on blue or a green on green. Yeah. Navy, we would call it blue on blue, green on green, whatever, a U.S. force on U.S. force. I do believe they tried to hide it with awards and with some pomp and circumstance. And it's horrendous that that family had to go through that. And I can tell you from personal experience that that family is still dealing with the bullshit associated with that. But does that paint the entire picture of the community, right? How do you find the balancing act between the things that are legitimately everything that people would think that they want special operations to be, and then those other things where, yep, those are so far outside of the lines and outside of the bounds of what should have ever happened. And it was a conspiracy from the military to try to cover this up or to change the narrative. We have to be careful with how we speak about both sides of those, because neither of them paint an accurate picture of the community or the life associated with that. But people seem to get very sticky on one side of those or the other, because it's not all stories like Tillman, and it's not all heroic fantasy, make it through a 20-year career and everything's going to be okay and you're just going to be fine. It's not that at all. Mm-hmm. It's tough. I mean, we live in a world where people have more access to information, who people have lived those experiences. But I don't care how long you have with a microphone and a video camera on. Neither you nor I, given unlimited gigabytes or terabytes or whatever it is, can truly unpack what that life is and the cost of that and the burden psychologically, emotionally, physically. So it's, I worry about the influence sometimes on the younger generation.
You had a good conversation with DJ from GBRS on the I think it was a change agent episode.
He's going to come on at some point. We just got to line up the schedule.
Yeah, I really like that conversation. And one of the things that stands out to me is a lot of guys, like I told you a long time ago, like I don't need Ibogaine. I don't feel like I need psilocybin. It's for sure it helped. Mm-hmm. But I haven't dealt with maybe moral injury or this idea, or not idea, it is post-traumatic stress for a lot of guys that deal with this. But there is a segment of our peer group that for sure has not addressed those things. And I mean, you see them. I mean, they're going through it. They're going through the difficult times. They're killing themselves. It's happening. I can't remember the name of the Master Chief, and I apologize, from DevGuru, who told me a story on Mike Force podcast. Michael, you might be able to pull it up. It's just a Mike Force episode with Senior Master Chief. You probably know who he is. And he was telling me about 2 of his studs on a target that were killed. And he told them not to go through the threshold of the door. He gave them orders. He said,
was this Jim Foreman?
Yes, Jim.
Great. Mike Koch and Nate Hardy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he told me, he says he remembers walking by them and their shirts were pulled up and he could see the tattoos on their body. And he thought to himself, and he felt guilty for this later, but he thought to himself, you idiots. You guys are dumbasses. Why? Typical team guy stuff. I tell you not to do it. You go through the threshold. And that was the last thoughts he had of them before he moved on and got ready for the next rotation. Mm. And so he never was able to kind of process that information. And I've noticed that you don't really, we've talked about certain actions in combat and certain things, but you seem more resilient than other guys. Is that because of experience, or is that because of something that you've managed in your own heart and mind? That's, I don't want to use this word separates, because I don't think that's the word, but you know what I'm saying? You seem to be more resilient to that kind of things that a lot of guys are dealing with moral injury wise, but you for sure have seen those and faced those and dealt with those. You dealt with it with personal friends who've died in free fall stuff that you've talked to me about. Or do you just not Have you not been confronted with that? Do you not
I mean,
deal with it?
I probably have experienced far less than a lot of those people. You know what I mean? And just because you were in that community doesn't mean the experiences apply to everybody equally. That was my old squadron. I knew Mike well. I turned over departments to him.
So Jim, you worked with Jim.
Yeah, Jim was awesome. I worked with Jim at Gold Squadron. He's fantastic. He was at the Recce Squadron when I was there, but he's the best. And then he was the operations chief for a bit, and I worked directly with him. Just cool, calm, and collected, man, the whole time. Just constantly able to perform.
Yeah.
I always try to be honest about my career, man. It was average at best. Like I said, I did the minimum amount of time at that command. I would have liked to stay longer, but I got injured right at the 4-year mark and had to leave, largely due to my own actions and telling an E9 what I thought of him at the time, which was not advisable. Those guys saw a lot more combat than I did and a lot more exposure to that stuff than I did. So there's probably a metric of that. I have spent a tremendous amount of time talking with counselors and therapists in the course of my life, trying to understand who I am as a person outside of those experiences and why I am the way that I am and what motivates me the way that things motivate me, or how can I, like, one thing I am very susceptible to is negative self-talk, and identifying, for me, it's the tools of recognizing it earlier and reorienting that. I mean, because you could realize, hey, this doesn't serve you well, but you can't stop yourself from doing it, right? The things I say to myself, like, I say some fucked up things to you, but I say some really fucked up things to me. Like, I would never say the things to other human beings the way that I talk to myself in the mirror sometimes, and I don't know why. Or I should say, I used to be that way. I'm not perfect at it, but getting better. But that is spending a lot of time talking with people who are experts at this type of stuff. And one of the long pole excuses that I hear from a ton of veterans, and this is an excuse in my opinion, is that, well, why would I go to a counselor or therapist who doesn't have the experience that I did? They're not going to understand it. And they don't have to understand it. If you can find the right counselor or therapist, they're going to help you understand you and give you the homework to unpack the things that happen to you, because they're an expert at between the ears. That's what those people need. I've spent a lot of time doing that. I also, although I'm incredibly proud of the time that I spent in uniform, I never defined who I was by that time in uniform. Which didn't necessarily mean that the transition out of the military was simple. I mean, I've reinvented myself many times. Some of it was through aviation. Some of it was through skydiving. Some of it, starting a business, which, again, for clarity, I clearly know nothing about. It's been a left and right journey this whole time. And I've gotten more comfortable with that as I get older, because I realize that all the world's problems have solutions at some point. Like, I'll figure it out. I'm not going to give up. I'll keep maneuvering around and changing the angle and stuff. But I also try not to take myself that seriously either. And I try to remember that the things that I was involved with overseas, I made the best decision that I could in the moment with incredibly limited information. And I remember why I wanted to serve and what my service means to me, and hopefully, without other people saying what it means to them, what I hope it provides, and the totality of everybody's service, not just my own, because an individual service isn't going to have an impact largely. I think it helps keep you grounded. And I think not having my identity super deeply tied to that and being able to find a purpose beyond military, which I didn't have initially. There's so much talk about identity and so little talk about the purpose. I think the purpose part is harder than the identity part, because guys can find jobs. They're infinitely employable. Maybe not in the sectors that they would necessarily want to be, but you can find a job and pick it up. So I think, honestly, man, it's just a metric of the work that you put into yourself. And I'm not saying I have done all of the work. I still have my moments for sure. Catastrophic lapses in who I wish I was and the way I responded to things earlier in my life. But I don't know if I had the tools necessary. And the military doesn't give you those tools. And here's the thing. They're not supposed to. It's just like people getting out of the military and they say that the TAPS program sucks. Spoiler alert, it does suck. But I actually think that the military should offload all offboarding of military members, and that goes to NGOs, and you have like a 4-month transition where they actually, the military is good at a couple things: onboarding you and then using you as a military cog in the wheel. They put almost no effort into the tail end of that. So let's just remove that from them and move that over to the NGO space. There's, of course, arguments that could be made about the efficacy of that and all those things. But you take some agency over your fucking life. You know, yes, the military didn't give you all the tools necessary to potentially deal with the burden that can come from this job. I got it. That's real. Are you going to do anything about it? Is the question I have for you. Are you happy with who you are right now and the trajectory of your life, right? They're saying it's okay to not be okay. It's not okay to stay that way. I truly believe it. Nobody can force you to do those things. You have to take agency over your own trajectory in life. I don't necessarily think I'm more resilient than anybody else. Again, it's probably a metric of I was just exposed to less than a lot of the people.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of everything you just said, especially taking agency. I think also what you're doing too, podcast-wise and talking to people. It's like Rogan's podcast. You kind of learn as you go from other people's experiences and course correct. And I take, you know, I talk about the sum of five, like the five people closest to you, you're the sum of that if you put all their characteristics and traits together. So keep your friends very close, because those high quality individuals, they're going to bleed off into your characteristics. And a lot of the things that I've done to course correct, I've kind of taken examples from you and other people in our network, like Evan, who's dealt with, I mean, he actually was going to write a book at one time and decided not to.
I think he gave the money back.
He did. He's like, screw this, I'm not doing it, which is wild.
Hell yeah.
That was a year process. But the lessons he's learning business wise, we've talked about it. And like, we don't make those mistakes. And we've talked back and forth about certain mistakes and certain ways that we're maneuvering. And I think that's what you should do with a good friend group. My buddy Andy Moore here, who's living a very civilian life. I need civilians in my life to learn from. And a lot of people are closed off and sheltered that way because they're like, I belong to a tribe and a community. It's like, well, that's not your life anymore. That's not your identity anymore.
So one piece of advice I always give first responders, specifically law enforcement, but it applies to military as well. Have a social circle that has nothing to do with what you do professionally.
Yeah, smart.
I mean, I am as close of friends with people from my military service as I am in the jiu-jitsu world.
Yeah.
With some people. No overlap whatsoever. Shit never comes up. Maybe every once in a while, like something on the news they'll ask a question because it's tangential to the military and they want to ask somebody who might have exposure or experience to it. No overlap whatsoever though. And it's super healthy.
It's awesome.
Yeah. The people that I know, and I'll use law enforcement as an example, that seem to struggle more, there is no gap between their professional social circle and personal.
Yeah.
So when they're off work, they're hanging out with people who are at work or on work, that same social circle, talking about the things when they're off work that happen at work. So there is no escape of the merry-go-round. Yeah. And that's tough.
If me, you, and Evan were having coffee, which we've done a lot,
yeah,
I don't think we've ever talked about the military.
Why would we?
We're talking about business, about family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would we?
There's no reason to.
Yeah.
And I think that's super healthy for you. I do, before we go, I do want to talk about these guys.
First off, this is my show. You don't get to decide when we go.
So I'm interviewing you. This is my podcast. We'll get
this
a cut
is
from
a non-paid. First off,
that's
why have a holster when you have a pocket?
What do you mean?
Just throw your piece in your pocket. Pocket piece.
That's a technique, Andy. You could do that.
Yeah, be careful.
Where's these got Invader Concepts?
Yeah.
But they gave you a chest thing. But
so here's a question for you.
Cool.
The bear is coming to get him.
Yeah.
Why is he pointing the opposite direction?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Maybe he's killing the bear closest to him, and that's the secondary target, the secondary threat, despite it looking
I don't feel like that's
like
the
it's
case.
right on his back.
I don't feel like that's
We have
the
to talk
case.
to these guys tonight about their branding.
How about you talk to them? They
I
want to
will.
do a business deal with you. I'm hard full on business deals right now
Invader
until I actually learn
Concepts.
something about business.
Invader
Yeah, it's a chest
Concepts.
rig. For people who go out in the backcountry, access probably, it's going to fit probably a Glock 10 millimeter, which is they make bear specific rounds.
Yeah.
Easy access in the backcountry. A lot of people will go with the chest rig because it's right there. Yeah, you got to
That's a Montana thing or a rural America thing.
I think it's a
Alaska.
I think it's a bear thing more than a Montana
There's that many
thing.
bears in Utah or Wyoming.
I bet you got some blacks.
We got some blacks.
You have to have grizzly.
They're
bears.
like pets. We don't have grizzlies.
Really? Have you ever gone and pet one?
No. We don't have any browns. You have browns. Do you have browns in?
Yes, we do. Michael,
Do you have blacks?
do grizzly bears live in Utah? Yes, we do. We have both.
Let me
First
see.
off, you better be careful. Somebody might clip that.
Well, we met, was it Black Nick today? That's his name. He told me to call him Black Nick. And
I'm not
Asian
going to
Mike.
do that. I'm not going to call that man Black Nick.
That's how he's listed in your phone.
That is what he texted me his name as.
Big shout out to everybody who came out to the Black Rifle Coffee Kalispell.
1923. Last known wild grizzly killed in 1923.
That's a
However, expanding populations in the Greater Yellowstone ecosystem have led recent sightings in
Wyoming.
southwest Wyoming. Yeah, so maybe. I mean, it's a pretty porous border there. But you guys have black bears for sure.
we have blacks for sure.
Yeah. And they're not pets. Don't treat black bears like pets. That's really bad advice.
Yeah, they don't just eat berries; they'll eat your face. Don't ever do that.
Yeah, I think black bears are less likely. If you have a surprise close encounter with them, they might get aggressive. My experience with them is they generally want to avoid humans. Grizzly bears will eat you asshole first.
Yeah, they don't mess around.
No.
We saw a guy who hit an elk on the way here and completely destroyed his vehicle.
Yeah, it's going to nuke a car.
Yeah,
for sure.
have something you can't have something in your Camry. I think it was like a Camry or something that got destroyed. What do you got? You've done the book.
Yeah.
You've done. You got so much going on. What's the next thing for you? What are you doing next? What's the next? Or you got some trip, hunting, anything lined up?
Nope.
Or are you taking a break?
I seem really busy for somebody on a break.
You're dude. You're all over the place. I've never seen you this busy.
I don't know if I'm accomplishing anything though.
It looks like it. I don't know what it means, but you're all over it. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
I don't have a big thing on the horizon that I'm really aiming for. I need to unfuck my understanding of business and get some personal stuff sorted, which will happen over. I mean, I know there's a mechanism to do so, and a lot of it is just paperwork stuff that I've been waiting on that now I can work my way through the penalties associated with that. So I mean, that's probably the near thing, but that's not an aspirational goal. That's just kind of like a life speed bump that I'm going to have to maneuver through for a couple of months. Man, I'm in an interesting phase. My oldest son is doing well, got a girlfriend, successful at work. They're pitching to him, teaching him more of a managerial role. My middle son is going to be a junior down in Bozeman at MSU on a mechanical engineering degree.
So awesome.
He's got 2 paid internships. One of them is at a quantum computing facility, which even me saying that word, I don't even know what I'm talking about. And then my daughter, who just turned 18, she finished a vocational welding program, instantly got hired. She is working for, I don't want to say a defense contractor because they do more than that. And I don't want to necessarily say the exact name of it because I'm not sure how they would feel about it, but she got snapped up and is full-time welding now, Monday through Friday, 410s, and then overtime on Friday with nothing but, her first job at 18, 401k, healthcare, PTO, like
Vocational.
Yeah.
A technical job.
Yeah.
That's rad, man.
So they're all spreading their wings a little bit, which not that it's ever going to remove your parental concern or your parental impact on their life, hopefully. But I don't know what's next, man. I don't have anything huge.
That feels like it's nice though, just to take a knee and like kind of settle after I feel like you've been going like 100 miles an hour for a long time now. Probably the whole year. This year has been pretty intense.
I could always tighten the screws on stuff and be more efficient at the things that I do. So maybe that'll be the next thing, is to do that. I have fallen in love again with aviation, man, with getting back into the rotary stuff. I've only been flying helicopters now for coming up on probably 2 years, but it's cool. I thought I was going to be done with it when I put it down, when I was doing a lot of the fixed wing stuff, because I was flying Part 135, which is charter operations, which is cool, but you're taking people and their families places that you wish you probably could take yours, and oftentimes on holidays as well too, and you need to be there in case they want to move around and stuff. So it was cool. It was great experiences. Those licenses are good for life. I'm not current or competent anymore, but you could always get recurrent if you wanted to. But the helicopter stuff is just cool, man. It's just a really cool tool to unlock greater Montana as well. So playing around, I don't know where that will ever go. I don't think I'm ever going to start a business associated with that. It can be essentially the helicopter is itself a marketing tool. That's really all it is.
Yeah.
So, and that's
CSAR
easy.
aspirations with that?
It's not the type of helicopter for that. It's not hoist capable. I volunteer to fly anytime for search and rescue anywhere anybody would need it. I can move people, I can move things, I could look for people and things, but there is an organization up here, Two Bear, that is funded by an individual here in the Valley completely. They have done over 1,000 rescues since they have been operational,
And it's privately funded.
and they have never charged a dime.
Wow. Is that the A-Star? Is that a...
No, it's a HC 145. It is like a new 15 to probably $20 million multi-engine turbine helicopter. It's badass.
And
God.
your buddy is flying the penetrator, the extraction.
We're talking about Nelson, and he definitely flies a penetrator, let me tell you. But and your hand signal
Legs
too.
wrapped around the penetrator.
Yeah, that's so.
That's a bad helicopter.
Michael,
dude.
see if you can pull up the two bear rescue helicopter. They just posted.
Nelson's done a lot of rescues off of that.
He's done a lot of penetrators.
Is he still doing that?
Yes, I believe so. That's their old one. That's a Bell 429. They just posted on their social media. That is the old one. That's a Bell 429. But I mean, you're talking hoist capable, all the sensors up front. I mean, that helicopter in and of itself, incredibly capable. But they have a new one, and I wish the paint scheme on it is legit.
Privately funded.
Privately funded.
That's wild, man.
Sometimes, depending on where the rescue is, they have to land next to the non-privately funded helicopter, and they cross-deck people over, and you hear a noise, and the noise is this, cha-ching, as the bill starts running.
Michael Goguen
Yep.
is the guy who did it.
Yep.
That's so awesome, man.
Yep. Michael, see if you can find it.
Yeah, I'm looking for it right now.
It's on their Instagram, which I think is just Two Bear Air. Oh, click on the right-hand side. The little Instagram symbol. Let's be smart. Enhance.
What's not awesome is the amount of fatalities this place has because
X.
of people
Scroll down.
being dumb.
See, that's the top of it.
Is that Nelson right there?
No.
It's him in the middle on that left one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's him in the middle.
Yep.
Yeah. Scroll up, Michael. Dang it.
I feel like this is a bucket list.
Click the middle one. Yeah, the black one. No.
Oh, I thought you meant
No. Down. Right there. See it.
Oh,
X.
it's gonna be-
Never mind.
Yeah,
So scroll down though. You see the logo of the Two Bear head logo. That's on the top of the root, the blade root as it comes in.
that's awesome.
It's the helicopter scheme is sick. I'll send a picture.
Have you been able to do any kind of spotting for them or assisting them in any way?
Two Bear, no. They have totally different abilities.
That's that pod. They're running that pod.
That's
for
a
the
thermal
flitter?
pod, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, again, high hoist capable, all the things. They have paramedics on board, all that stuff. I have helped out the local law enforcement and search and rescue when they have asked, but I will leave it broad for the privacy of those people involved.
Got it. Got it. Such a rad deal. And we're going up in it. We're filming a YouTube video for
Nobody said we're going to go fly. We're going to talk about survival and
yeah.
we're going to talk. We can go fly if you want, I suppose.
Oh, we don't have to. I know it's expensive. It doesn't make sense.
I don't care about that. It's just the content I would love to talk about because this is
The loadout.
Well, this is real where I live too. So I always have a mechanical kit. Not that I'm a mechanic, but I can solve very simple things. Then I have a med kit. And one thing that Leah has talked about, and sometimes I have with me and sometimes not, is a survivability kit. Because as you talked about today, large temperature swings, a winter that is real. I still fly in the winter months. You put that thing down. The heater no longer works when the turbines are off. So you could find yourself out there in the backcountry waiting for a bit. I mean, I know the right people to call who have other helicopters that could come get me. But I'd be interested when some of the Fieldcraft Outpost stuff, I'd love to figure out, I almost always have a maximum of 4 people in there. And so that leaves the seat directly behind me. I'd love to figure out a way to have all that stuff arrayed there. I mean, if you have a truck gun, don't you need a helo gun?
We do. We'll put that in there.
That's what I'm saying. And so having all of that, they're all non-negotiables. In the summer months, of course, I pay attention less to the survivability kit, which is stupid. That's an excuse on my part because just because the temperatures are warmer, it doesn't mean you still don't need to be able to source food, water,
Period of night.
all
Yeah.
of those things, right? So I'd be interested to see what we could do with the space available. I wouldn't develop any product lines around it because it's very niche.
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I think it's aviators have asked me, especially stall aircraft.
Yeah.
They have asked me for
Which
years.
stands for short takeoff and landing for people.
Yeah, they've asked me for years. These bushcraft or what is it called? Bush.
Bushcrafting, I think, is building stuff.
Yeah, that's not bushcrafting. It's
Oh man, if you
bush
had,
pilots.
yes,
The
there you
bush
go.
pilots. They fly low and slow, and a lot of those guys. I don't think I've talked to one that hasn't had an incident of some kind because of the locations they go into.
Well, and there's thousands of moving parts.
Yeah.
Sometimes you mechanical out.
Yeah.
Like what you're saying, I have a star bat as well too. I don't always fly with it. But again, a lot of that is because, the Pelican case is great, but I'm like, where am I going to put this thing?
It's heavy.
It is heavy, not enough to really offset the weight and balance in that thing. But that's all stuff. If you have a system, I think it's better. It's just so much more organized in your mind, and everything is in its spot it's supposed to be in. And especially in a crisis or a critical situation, you know where to go as opposed to your assholes and elbows trying to go in there and get the stuff. So like I have a very generic med kit in there. But when you come out with the new, bleeding control kits or vehicle mobility kits and so I'll just transport that stuff over into that. But yeah, I'd be curious. It's actually still mobility.
Yeah.
It's just a different medium.
Yeah. Yeah. What we'll do is we'll do the video. We'll get your recommendation.
Yeah.
We'll put out the post and get everybody's feedback, especially the stall pilots, but rotary wing especially, because you're right. If you break down in Montana in the middle of nowhere, even just waiting for somebody to get to you could take a time.
Depending on the season, you may not make it until like in the winter months, but you put it down somewhere that is remote where it's going to be maybe a long vehicle ride to a snowmobile to get to you.
Yeah.
And hopefully you're flying around in at least some type of commensurate, appropriate outerwear. But dude, I mean, again, you turn the heater off in that thing, it gets cold real fast.
Yeah. So the heater doesn't run if it's on the ground?
It is taking hot air from the turbines, from the bleed air. So it's actually pressurized hot air that it recycles back into the cabin.
Wow.
Yeah. That's how most heating and air conditioning systems in aircraft works. You can get standalones, but most of them are based off of bleed air.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited to do that video. And I know Andy Moore's not shitting his pants now because he's scared of flying.
Well, then we're definitely going to go fly. That's fine. It is acrobatic certified. We can do loops and barrel rolls.
Yeah, he would love that.
I don't know how to do any of those things, nor do I want to.
But we can try.
No, we cannot try. But I can appreciate that the helicopter is certified to do so.
Is it really? Does it actually is certified to do that?
Yeah, it's got a.
So it could do a rollout.
It could do a barrel roll. It's the same helicopter that the Red Bull guys use for acrobatics.
Oh, I didn't know that was that high speed. I'm thinking like an R44, man. I'm thinking like a step up from an R40. This is actually a high performance.
It's a twin turbine. It has two Little Bird engines in it.
Wow.
C40Bs or two. It was a C240B or something. I don't know what it is.
What's the time from you dropped off Bissonette in Missoula? Mm-hmm. What's the time from here to Missoula?
It was 45 on the way down because we had a little bit of a headwind. 36 on the way back.
Damn, that's nice.
Yeah,
and that would normally be
2 hours easy in a car.
Nice, dude.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
What else you got going on?
Do you get a gift from me from MKC?
I do, but you don't get to decide when we're done and when we're done talking. Do you have other things on your schedule that I don't know about?
No, so Long Haul Supply Company, people ask me this. They're like, I don't understand the company.
Well, what's the tie-in with Fieldcraft Outpost as well?
Yeah, so...
Are they the same? Do they work in tandem?
Yeah. I'm not allowed to have Fieldcraft Survival because they dissolved it, technically, right? So when they dissolve the company... and
You're welcome, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. So when a company dissolves... The assets are up for acquisition, and then the IP related to Fieldcraft Survival as an entity, as an LLC, are no longer available. But the individual branding assets, like the logo, basically all the IP, I'm allowed to have. I mean, they're my patents on certain products. I got the email list and the social media stuff. My whole thing is, one, we have a whole group of people who've been watching Fieldcraft for years, a decade. And I started that channel on my cell phone, and turning around the cell phone on myself, talking about preparedness. We're going to get back to those roots. Fieldcraft Outpost, which is Fieldcraft Survival's main channel. I haven't even changed the names, and I won't, of those channels. Fieldcraft Outpost is the...
Are you worried that's going to confuse people?
Well, what they say is I will change it, but for about a year. I'll leave it for about a year.
Okay.
And then once we get back into the flow of things, because they didn't post for 6 months. I mean, Fieldcraft Survival didn't have content up for 6 months. Julian, one of my media guys right now, is filming 3 documentaries. Hopefully you'll be one of them. And I know it's going to be difficult to around your schedule, and you don't.
I'm not as busy as you think.
You don't like to do these kind of things, but
I do not like to.
You don't like to do these. So I'm doing stories of survival, and we did them for Black Rifle Coffee, and they were really good stories of survival. The same guy is doing them for me for Fieldcraft Outpost. We're doing Joe Kent's wife, Shannon Kent, who was killed in a vehicle-borne IED in Syria. We're doing John Wayne Walding, who was a Green Beret, who would be a wonderful podcast guest, by the way, real humble dude who had his leg shot off by a PKM machine gun, pinned it to his thigh, his lower leg was shot off at his shin, tied it to his thigh, and stayed in the fight.
Did they reattach?
They took it off, I think, above the knee, and then he continued to serve. He actually wound up going to sniper school and doing a whole bunch of stuff as an amputee. One of the first amputees out of a few guys that were still on active duty.
If you wanted to keep your leg,
Yeah.
and you went through the effort to bring it back with you, do you think they would let you? I don't mean reattach. I mean, can I have my leg?
Can you stuff it and like put it on the wall?
That's what I'm saying.
That would be cool.
A sous vide.
Formaldehyde?
Well, it's yours.
Formaldehyde in a jar.
That's weird. That's a big jar. But I'm just saying,
Pickled.
It's yours.
You could you could technically do whatever you want.
I don't think they would let you. I think they're going to take it from you.
Yeah. You were shot in the leg, right?
I was in the hip.
Ooh, damn. I feel like that would be painful.
It wasn't great. 10 out of 10 don't recommend.
Yeah.
Don't get off track here. I want to know what you can do with your own appendages that you lose. I feel like a good case could be made.
Is pickle it.
Turn it into a walking stick or something.
Have a cane, and at the bottom of the cane, it's the
It's your
leg.
foot. Articulating ankle.
I would like that. I would do that.
All right.
If I lost my leg in
This,
combat.
this is, sometimes I lose the battle with internal thought versus external thought. So
You said all of that out loud.
yeah. Okay. Who's the third? Stories of Survival?
Third is going to be Clint Emerson.
Sweet.
So he was Black Squadron guy.
Yep.
And he's written more books than I would ever write in survival, 8 books total. He's also going to be a content provider. Me and you are going to do a lot of content together, especially wintertime, because winter survival is paramount for Montana because of the things that you guys deal with. And so I'll be back and hopefully teaching a class with some of our friends. I think it'd be cool to have. Should we name drop anybody?
Sure.
We can.
John Barklow is a guy I recommend. Yeah.
Yeah, Barklow is.
He hasn't committed to this. I'm just spitballing here.
He worked out of Kodiak, Alaska, and basically taught it.
Well, he also lives in Montana. He lives in Bozeman.
Yeah, I didn't know he lived in Bozeman.
Yeah, he works for Sitka.
Is he still working for Sitka?
Yeah, he's one of the main guys down there.
I need to get some gear.
He's got a book coming out.
Yeah, we've been promoting his book, which we will do because he is the SME, the subject matter
Legitimately.
expert in survival.
Legitimately, yeah.
And then more content, man. Look, I told you a long time ago that I was going to get to a place that you operated in where you were local, you were walking across the street to do jiu-jitsu, walking down the road to do your podcast, and keeping it very close. And I've done that. The roundabout way I did it was catastrophic, but I'm here, and that's going to be the new path leaning forward.
Has everything settled legal-wise for you?
Everything's done.
Good.
I haven't even told you, but everything's done.
Can you own a firearm?
Yes.
Are you sure?
100%.
You can touch one?
I can't touch one.
How long until you
I don't want to right now, but
How long until you can touch a firearm?
2 weeks.
Until I submit another complaint against you.
I knew it.
Yeah, don't tempt me with a good time.
I know
That's
it.
good to hear.
Yeah, it's all done.
That's gnarly. What was flash to bang on that? 2 years? 2 years plus?
18 months on that one.
What did we learn from this?
Honestly, if it wasn't for my friend group, if it wasn't for you and Evan and and my family, my mom, my spouse, my kids, I don't think if I didn't have the support, which many guys who are put in this situation don't have the support. If I didn't have the support, I think it would have been a lot more difficult. And so having that support, because you have people you're allowing or willing to get close to you or be close to you, I think is advantageous. And that's something that even when I say it out loud, I'm like, I don't really like that, but I've been more open to it. And, I've had conversations with you offline about your situation, and you've helped me through, like, don't do this, don't say this, do this exactly. I mean, the best advice you gave me at one point, you said, your kids are going to remember that. Don't ever say anything to them negative about anybody, including their mother.
Yep.
And I said, and then you told me some of your experiences. And that stuck with me. And I didn't say a word. And that's helped me advantageously. The biggest lesson learned also is, and I know we talked about this before, and you've talked about it with several guests, including former Navy SEALs, about God and how just getting rooted back into the foundations of my faith have benefited me greatly. And I do a Preaching to the Choir YouTube segment every Sunday because it keeps me accountable, because I slip and fall off so easily. But just getting back to it, because a lot of guys, mostly guys, depend on that message, and they're like, it's helping me, gives me purpose, and it also gets me more closely connected and staying in my faith, which is beneficial for me, beneficial for my family, because that's how I grew up. That's how I was raised.
Are you going to start a cult?
Not yet. We're thinking about it, though.
You'd be a good cult leader.
I would be okay. The Asian persuasion is beneficial to me because I'm the neutral race. I get along with all races of people because of my neutrality.
What about Koreans?
Not Koreans. They hate me. They actually have a name for me. If you're a half-breed, they hate half-breeds.
I was going to say, well, hold on. Is it Koreans and Japanese people that historically have beef?
My mom...
Because you just said you love everybody and you're loved by everybody. I think you're lying.
When I was in the Q course in Special Forces training, there was a dude named Fink. I'll just give you his nickname because he's still serving. Very senior member of Special Operations now. And Fink was half German and Japanese. And my mom, I didn't know this at the time because I didn't know there was Japanese-Korean beef because I wasn't schooled up on the whole World War everything.
We're talking historical beef.
Korean War, World War II, like historical beef that goes back deep. And she would always say, son, how was training? I said, Mom, it was really good. And she goes, did you beat Fink? And I'm like, what do you mean beat Fink? Yeah. I know Fink is your friend, but he's Japanese. Did you beat Fink? And I'm like, I didn't beat him. We're not competing. He's like, you need to beat Fink. And I'm like, what is wrong with, like, he's a good guy. He's Japanese. We don't like the Japanese.
Put it down, Mom. Put it down.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
53, I think we ended that.
Yeah.
After the Korean War.
All right.
She holds resentments against the Japanese. She won't say it out loud, but I said it out loud for her.
Yeah. What is, I was going to ask you this. You're a photography nerd. What is your dream camera? Monetary aspect aside, dream camera for a photographer like yourself?
A Leica M6 is about, well, so I think you have a Leica, right? Didn't you have a Porter?
Yes.
Yes. That camera, for anybody who has the money, it's a great expense, but it's probably universally one of the most robust digital cameras. I have a Q3 or Q2 monochrome.
I have a Q1.
Yeah, you have a Q1.
Reporter, yeah.
Color. It shoots in color.
I mean, you can put it in black and white, but yes, it's designed for color.
So the Q3, I think it's Q3, monochrome, gives you like 30 to 40% more available light and exposure. And it's one of the best black and white cameras ever made in the history of cameras. There's a 35 millimeter called the Leica M6 with a Luminachron lens, like a 50 millimeter lens, high quality glass. The best camera probably ever made. And a lot of photographers would say that, but tack sharp, beautiful photography, and some of the best photographers in the world have shot that. And my inspiration from photography comes from Frank Hurd, who was on the Shackleton expedition as their photographer. So this ship that we have the same tattoo
Gabe,
artist. What's his name?
Gabe,
amazing tattoo artist.
white and light tattoo.
Here at local, right? It's in Whitefish. It's very difficult to do. He did the ship Endurance. And Frank Hurd went from that to World War II and was a photographer, a combat photographer in World War II. And this happened during the early 1900s, in 1917, where he did these photographs and then wound up being in Africa, all over the world, and then actually took photographs in the Second World War after World War I. Crazy.
Leica or Hasselblad? Which one's better?
Leica.
Those would seem to be the two competing ones at the top of the heap if monetary restriction is pulled aside.
So if I have a Hassel that is a full frame camera that you shoot looking down into it.
Oh, no, you're talking about, yeah.
Beautiful camera. And it's for full frame landscape shots.
Yeah.
Beautiful photography coming from that. But it's really old school and the tech is old. In fact, the filming industry has taken a substantial turn. Mark Welsh, who's a pretty famous photographer, shot most covers of Surfer magazine. In his current a photographer, got me into developing photos. There's not many places in the country now that are doing 120, 110, or 35 millimeter even. So if you get into these cameras, the limitation is on the development of the film.
Oh, interesting.
So you can get a high-speed Leica M6, and then you send it off to a crappy development shop, and they just hack your stuff. The best way to do it is do a darkroom in your house and actually do it yourself, which is expensive, but it's, I think, worth it.
Fair enough. You want to go talk mobility, but in the air?
Yeah,
Cool.
let's do it.
Swing by the shop. And, oh, hey, hold on. Yep. Here's your gift.
Oh, is that a real gift?
It's a real gift. Are you allowed to touch this?
I'm allowed to touch this one, as long as it doesn't
Show me
have
something
animation.
that says you're not going to go to jail if you touch this.
Michael just got the text before I sent it to him. It's on the email.
I'm going to hand this to you. But if this is violating some type of thing that I don't
It's
know
not.
about legally,
Those are all airsoft, by the way.
they are.
Is this the new tactical?
It is a tactical one.
I'm excited about this. Dude, they are leveling up. Like, this is a level up.
It's a near Apple experience.
Dude, this is wild. Used to be cardboard years ago.
Yeah. I mean, still technically it is cardboard, but don't cut yourself. Those blades are sick. Plus with the custom etched Cleared Hot logo on the other side, I mean, it's not a big deal.
You need a first aid kit for having this knife. These
Apparently
are the
he
sharpest
gave
knives.
apparently he gave one to Dana White and then they went to the hospital
I believe that.
because he opened it with his fingers over the kydex and just pulled that sucker straight out.
And this will cut your fingers off. This thing is amazing.
Those
You got
knives-
your cut there.
I know.
We need to convince Josh, which when I say we, I mean you, to do another Fieldcraft Outpost edition folding knife. I don't know if you'd ever do it, but
Are you allowed to carry one of those? If the blade is under 3 inches?
give me 2 weeks.
I was going to say, I need to see paperwork. I don't trust you.
Delay the
Trust
text.
is broken.
This is, by the time this comes out, we're good to go. We're good to go. We'll date this one. Thanks for this, man.
Yeah. What do you want to close it with? I'll let you close it out.
No, look, all of the things that we talked about are really important. A lot of guys recently, because they see what I've been going through, I've been pretty vocal about it mostly on your podcast, have reached out and like, hey man, I'm going through a difficult time. And I would just say the perfect way to close this out would be listen to some of the advice that you gave and don't be afraid to reach out and get help. I mean, there is no, look, suicide is a serious thing in our community, but across the spectrum of men and women in this country. And I think, I hate to see it because I see it nearly every week. Somebody's posting something about somebody taking their life.
So I don't know if you know this, but this probably lands even heavier with you. I'm pretty sure that this stat is correct. The Green Beret community
Yeah.
has now lost more people to suicide than combat operations.
I believe that wholeheartedly.
I don't know where the SEAL community is on that, but I guarantee you with enough time, it will be the same.
It will be close to the same, yeah. And this is only the beginning because a lot of our peers, some of our senior peers are still serving,
Yes.
which is wild to me. That guy Fink, I mean, he's been in the building for 20 years. I mean, it's just wild to think that. Be encouraged by the things that we're doing because there is purpose to be driven, a mission to accomplish outside of your identity in the military. And there's phases to life. I think that season or that chapter or that way that you put it, there are phases that you're going through that are not tied to your profession or your identity that you think is you at the time. I thought when I was in the military, I was going to retire on a lawn chair and fish for the rest of my life. And I got out at the age of 37.
How
I'm like,
galactically boring would that have been?
dude, that would have lasted a couple days. But just seek the help when you need it. And I do want to say lastly, I talked to Brent Tucker about a guy that I served with. I served with him in the unit. He actually pawned off the Afghan partnering unit on me during one of our rotations. And he was one of the new guys. And he was like, Mike can do it. He's a Green Beret. Make him do it. And he successfully did that. His name is, I'll just say his call sign was Swede. And I don't know if the family wants me to put this out, so I just give you his call sign. But an amazing operator that served his country for a long time and was a superhero. And he passed away. I found out with Brent Tucker, he passed away last year in a tragic vehicle accident in his truck with his teenage son at the time who survived. Your dad is a rock star. He was an amazing human being, one of the kindest men I knew, but also a warrior. And you're following in big footsteps, and he would be very proud of you. Yep.
It's a pretty good close.
Yeah, man.
Cool. Let's go talk survivability stuff.
Let's do it, man.
Cool. Let's do it.
Thanks, Bill.
Yep.